Oh. Oh, we're live. Oh. Wait. Hello, hello. You can't hear Popo yet. I do need to add Popo here. Mm-hmm. Okay, Popo, say something. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Try again. Try again. Try again.
Yeah, I think they can hear me now. My pair is
Oh yeah.
moving.
Now you should be able to hear her.
Can you guys hear me?
Hello guys, can you guys hear me?
They can always hear you, but what about Mo?
I have to ask. Wow. Chat is so active already.
Okay, so they can hear us. Okay, good.
Okay. Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello everyone. Who's here today? Pablo is here. Hello, welcome. Jappy is here too. We are so excited too. Hi Vichirisu. Hello. I'm here for the bean spillage that was promised. Yeah, some beans were spilled today. Hello Sumeda. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome in.
Welcome.
Akir is here too. Hello, welcome.
Sorry we're late. I had to take a nervous pee break. You know how it is.
And I needed my coffee. I definitely need my coffee. How much coffee do you drink? No, you're not drinking any coffee,
I don't
right?
drink coffee at all because if I drink like a teaspoon, I'll stay awake for like 48 hours. I'm weak. I'm so weak.
So humans like you do exist. I heard about them.
So I drink like rooibos tea because it's decaffeinated.
Oh, that doesn't count then. Hello Yuhiro. Hello. Welcome in. Voxy is here too. Hello.
Everyone is here.
Periwinkle is here too. Hello Periwinkle. Hello Popo.
Wait. Oh yeah, I'm here. Hello. Oh my god, so happy to be here.
Yo. Who's here too? I see Drake in chat too. Just Drake, hello, welcome. Is this a talk show? Yes.
Yes.
This is a live podcast.
The most professional of standards going on here.
Yeah.
Go and make some tea, guys. Come back. We'll be here.
Yes.
Get cozy.
It might take a few hours to talk through everything that we got. We got some nice questions from you guys too. So very excited to answer all of them. And I already know that I will rant a few times. How about you?
And if you guys have questions in the chat, just put them in the chat and we'll wrap up a point and then talk about that. Because you guys get priority because you're here.
You guys get
that's
priority.
All we want.
Yes. Feel free to ask any time. We'll try to answer all of them. Hello Mauli. Hello. Welcome to the live stream, to the bean spilling today.
Beans.
Beans. Mia Rose is here too. Hello Mia. How are you doing? Welcome in. Timmy Jimmy is here too. I love your username, by the way. Timmy Jimmy.
There's a banana in chat. Shiny banana.
Oh hello, banana. Goodness, we have the banana in chat. Shinji VTuber is here too. Hello, Shinji VTuber. Shiny banana.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm glad you like my accent. It's a really weird one because, well, we'll get into it. I'll talk about myself.
What about my accent? British.
British.
British. Horsey is here too. Hello. Did I miss someone? I think I missed someone.
Oh no.
Love that Shark. I miss you. Yeah. Shark is here too. Sharky. Just here to tell you I love your music so much. Thank you. But you do need to specify whose music you mean.
It's both. And combined collaboration.
It's
obviously.
Yeah. It's officially both now. So every compliment that you guys put in chat today will be applied to Popo as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Double buff. Double. Both your accent is amazing, to be honest.
That's true. The German accent can be quite nice when it's like tempered.
Do I have a German accent?
I think you do. I think you
Shit.
have like a slight one. What? You can't help it.
I do. I can help it. Just get better. Sounds like a skill diff.
I mean, you could always put on an accent if you wanted.
This is not okay. This is not okay.
This is not
I'm trying to speak English very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Gluten English. Gluten.
Yes, you do, Car. Holy shit. Make me get rid of it. Can I ask what happened to the webtoon Little Rain? Oh god. Oh god. Are we diving into the spicy stuff already?
Oh, it's already. Nice to meet all of you in chat. You guys are so sweet. Thanks for coming. We're gonna have a good time.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
He was doing webtoon. No, but Popo is.
Did you not get placed on like a couple of episodes?
I worked with one original webtoon artist before. Like not. How you call it? It's original, and the other thing is
the canvas.
Canvas. No, it was a canvas. It was a canvas. Original is when you a big dog, right?
When you were big pair. But no, it's just that canvas you can't put the music directly on. But you can still like put it in the comments and stuff.
Canvas also doesn't get paid a lot, right? Or at all? Canvas is like for
some people choose to stay on Canvas though because they make so much money from their like Patreons and stuff that there's no point in signing their life over to Webtoon.
Yeah, I'm not saying that original is automatically better than Canvas, but I do think that original is like the thing that gets
quality.
officially under contract with Webtoon. Yeah, so I worked with a Canvas artist before. It was a very cozy experience.
Yeah, it always is. The Canvas art is so cute.
Yeah. Canvas is like so not stressful. No deadline pressure.
Deadlines for sure.
Yeah.
So what got you into music, Car? Shall we start?
What?
Was that too abrupt? If I start hitting you with those hard-hitting questions. We didn't start this interview now.
Yeah, shit. We're going completely off course right now, aren't we?
No, it's okay. We can wait a bit longer.
No, I think we're already 20 minutes in. Holy.
Oops.
Coffee time. Yeah. Give me another. Let me get another sip. Okay. Should we start with a little introduction and?
I have a little introduction.
Okay.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone knows.
Let me just do it really quickly because I think most of you guys already know who I am and what kind of music I make. But maybe you don't know that I actually do music for a living. And yeah, I make music full time since 2021, so not too long ago. Despite my channel being around since 2009.
Damn.
2009. And I make music mainly for digital content creators. Like you may know the SolarWind like channels like these. I make music for study YouTubers. I make music for streamers. I make music for VTubers. I make music for everything for labels, for playlists, about study music, and so on and so on. And
so you started in 2009. Is that when you first made your channel?
That's when I first made this channel I'm on right now. There was a second channel that is completely secret and off radar in 2008. But I think that channel got I closed it. I closed
secret channel.
That's a secret.
It had all the cringe compilations on it.
Yeah. This channel has also had seen some cringy things.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think I've been listening. I think I first heard you in like 2015, 2014.
What?
Because you were, yeah, I think that's when I first heard you, because I'd like just started uni and I
But
was using you to study. That your recommendations were popping up to me like 2014, 2015.
Holy shit! I thought you knew about me when I slid into your DMs.
No, I knew you before.
What? Okay, this is the
I
first time.
know.
This is the first
Really?
time.
I swear I
Yeah.
told you
No,
this.
you did not.
No, it's been forever.
Oh
It's like
god.
we've known each other forever.
2015. That was still the cringy phase. I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think my channel popped off a little bit more around 2017. I think. That's when Solar Wind picked me up, and that's where all the good stuff happened to my channel. Before it was kind of wacky and just rolling with it while I did other stuff for a living. But yeah, I know your music from Little Rain. It is such a delicate and cozy and beautiful soundtrack.
Like,
So
I am the noob here because I only started making music like 1.5 years ago. So I'm sure my experience is gonna be very different to what yours was. You've got so much knowledge and you've got like almost it is 10 years almost under your belt now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it feels like I've just started making music since.
It's because you're constantly changing and adapting. I think the music world and the entertainment industry anyway moves really quickly all the time. You're constantly adapting and trying new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you're just constantly changing. It can be exhausting, but it's also really exciting.
Yeah, it is really exhausting, and we get into that with other things that we're going to talk today. But yeah, maybe you can introduce yourself also a little.
Okay, with almost 25 minutes in, it's time for the introduction. So I'm Periwinkle. Hello. My friends call me Popo, and friends and family call me Popo. I'm a webtoon and short film orchestral composer. I won an award for Best Original Score at a recent animation festival, and it's the only award I've ever won, and I'm very proud of it because it probably might be the only award I ever win. But that was a really nice moment in my life.
I was so proud of you too.
Oh my god, I was so happy. I work full time as a medical doctor, and I do music both, so 2 full-time jobs. Yay!
I know how that feels.
2 full-time jobs.
And a doctor too, so.
I love all the pair emojis in chat. That's it. Just pair replies.
Send in the pairs. Send in the pairs.
Yes, that's my intro. So I am a bit different from Carb because you left your day job, correct? We can obviously get into it later.
Yeah.
And then got into music, but I'm still in the in between, so I'm still doing both. But it'll be interesting perspectives from both of us because one's on the fence and one's already jumped over the fence.
Yeah. So let's get started with how the journey started.
So about us, how did we get into music? What was the journey?
Mine started when I was 4 years old. I think.
Oh God, a baby.
I think I told this story before, but we went to. So my family is quite big. So whenever we meet up, they're gonna be like 20 people, like with all the uncles and aunts and cousins.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So we were meeting up with my uncle at my uncle's house in Dortmund, in Germany. And I was 4 years old, so I was naturally curious. I was already interested in music. I think I was a big fan of the mini playback show. I had VHS recordings from the mini playback show, and I watched it, and I just started dancing in front of the television. I was hella cute, I must say.
Did anyone take videos? Did we have videos?
I think
we did.
Yeah. I think there are videos of that. Maybe I'll show them someday. But anyways, we were there at the family party, and there was this keyboard, and you know those kind of really old keyboards or beginner keyboards that have this kind of rhythm feature.
Oh yeah, the plastic ones.
Yeah, those are mostly made out of plastic, and they have this rhythm feature where you can play chords with your left hand,
Oh yeah,
and
the
you can play like tango beats and change the chords with your left hand. But if the beat is off, if there's no beat running, then no matter what you play with your left hand, it will always sound very, very good because the keyboard is trying to play chords only. You can
yeah.
only play chords. And obviously every chord sounds amazing in itself. And you can just stack different chords and somehow it will work. And it tricked my little 4-year-old brain that, damn it,
Oh my god, I'm a genius.
I play so good. Holy
We're so
shit.
good.
Holy shit, this sounds amazing. This sounds so professional. Holy, I'm a genius. Let me bring everyone together and make my first live performance on the keyboard.
Oh my god, did we
And
all do that? We all performed for our families.
yeah, I
Oh,
performed in front of 20 people with the age of 4, and I thought it was so good. And then I brought back the right hand, and I cannot imagine what kind of nightmare that was. having these incredibly perfect chord notes with the left hand and whatever I did with the right hand as a 4 years old. But I do remember that was quite amazing, and everyone had a very, very good time and smiling, and I was very, very passionate about that. It made me really happy, so happy that my uncle decided to give me the keyboard, and that was basically the beginning.
did you enjoy the performing aspect of it, or did you enjoy the music making, or both?
I think it was both, but mainly I was fascinated by how happy it made other people's.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I think the influence that it has on other people is so satisfying.
it is really, really satisfying. Well, which is why I love YouTube so much is that whenever we put music on YouTube, then you guys can actually comment. You guys can actually let us know how you feel about our music, and that's the most important thing for. I would bet every musician on this planet. Like no one just makes music for numbers. No one.
Yeah. And I don't think people make music just for themselves. There's always something that
Yeah.
drives us to share our work with other people.
Yes. Yes.
I thought when I first started, like, I don't want to make social media. I had nothing. I had like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, and I didn't have any social media when I started 1.5 years ago. There was no need for it. Like, I didn't feel a need to have it in my life. But if you're going to share vulnerable parts of yourself with the world, you actually need social media to get feedback on and have that interaction. And then it's been since then just had all the social media.
Mm. Social media. Yeah. You
Because you need
remember?
to get that communication.
Say again.
You need that communication
Yeah.
from the people that listen. It makes it so worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the music lagging? Is it really?
Is it crackling? Or is it actually lagging?
I don't know. Are we lagging too, guys?
Are we lagging?
Are we?
Blop. They say it's okay now. Just let us know. We can always check it again later. It's probably just a connection thing.
Yeah. No lag here. Yeah, maybe it happens every now and then. You guys let us know if anyone of us two is too quiet or too loud, or if the music lags, or if we suddenly start like aliens and electric beings.
Yes. Okay. Everyone says no lag. Okay. Just let us know. It's interesting how I feel like a lot of people aren't like, oh my god, I woke up one morning and I started making music. Like, it's very much, it started from a young age.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same. I feel like I've been making music since I could walk. I didn't have a piano, but I had like bonk bonk toys, like clink plonk. Like, you just
Yeah.
hit a bunch of instruments and then it just made like bells and things that make noises. And I feel like you can hear that in my music because I like bells.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what
You definitely
started
can.
I started off as a bell player when I was like 3 or 4. At that point, obviously, I had no idea what I was doing. But then I I started taking piano lessons when I was about 6 or 7. And then I went to schools because I lived in London and I lived in Singapore. Singapore has a really good music system in their schools, especially. And so my whole life I've gone to schools that had quite good or decent music departments. And that really helps, especially when you're starting out, because you're surrounded by people that are doing music, and that allows you to learn. So I started composing for my school orchestras, and that's how for my middle school and high school orchestras, and that's how I learned that like I could really do this. Once you share your work with other people, that's when you realize like, damn, this sounds nice. It's not
Damn.
just me.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
This is the start. What was the first song you ever composed yourself?
Oh my gosh.
Like, I
It was
remember.
I started on piano. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
I think mine was when I was around 7 years old, and
Same.
I had like piano lessons back then. So I did not take a lot of lessons. Most of my piano skills are actually self-taught. But I did have piano lessons at the very early beginnings, because as a child that's just made sense, right?
Yeah.
And I was in a group with like 3 other kids, and we were just preparing for a concert that we had in our little town where I was born, and we were preparing the music. We were just settling on the songs that we want to play, and I had this melodic idea, and I was so proud. It made me so happy. It's like, holy shit! I discovered something that sounds so pretty, and I showed them to everyone. Like, you immediately get that instinct to I need to show someone. I need to
It's
get there.
interesting how that happens.
Yeah. It immediately you're not like, this is enough for me, but you're like, I need someone to hear this. It is not something that only belongs to me, but it belongs to someone else too. I want it to belong to someone else too. So I want it to be part of someone else's life. And I showed it to them, and everyone was like asking the teacher like, can we play this? Can we play this live? Can we play this live?
That's so cool.
And the teacher was like, maybe not, maybe not. But yeah, I remember this so vividly because it made me feel so incredibly happy as a pianist. Like
It's
as much
always
as
that turning point.
Yeah.
When the addiction starts, you just know, because it could be anything that triggered like, damn, I really like making music, or I really like the way this sounds, and then it's all downhill, uphill from there.
I think
It's all uphill from there.
Yeah. Do we have a question? I used to play piano when I'm in kindergarten, but at the moment I'm in elementary, I lost interest, and now I cannot get back to any instrument anymore. Yeah, was it actually hard for you to keep up things? Like how deep was did your obsession go with music?
Also, when you're in elementary, there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Like you're quite distracted. Music comes and goes. Like I'm quite definitely like there are periods where I didn't play music. It's not like a constant thing. Like you're not playing music your whole life. It comes and goes, especially when you're going through puberty and getting jobs, or even earlier, like the moving house, moving country. So many things determine how much music you play. So there's no point in beating yourself up if you haven't practiced, or if you haven't played in so many years.
Do we have technical difficulties again?
Do I sound staticky, guys? Mia says there's static. I can check.
You sound good to me.
Is there static? Timmy says yes.
Test.
Test.
Still static?
Has it gone away? Oh, they say yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh no. Let's try to give it him. An
Not
emotional
anymore.
speech. Oh, not anymore. Okay. It'll come and go.
Yeah,
Damn
come
it. I
and
was saying
go.
something really profound. What was I saying? I've forgotten.
It's okay now, I
Oh well.
think. Okay, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, you guys let us
Ten,
know.
10 minutes
Should I
says,
Popo, should I just interrupt you the next time you're like electro again?
yeah.
Okay.
Just interrupt me and we'll stop and we'll go beep beep and then we'll start again.
Alexandra, hello. Welcome to our little talk here. How are you
Welcome.
doing? How are you doing?
How far up should I scroll? Because I'm sure we missed lots of questions because we started. It's been a
Uh,
chaotic start.
Oh yeah. Guys, we do have a lot of to talk. So if we missed something, feel free to send us your question again because we might not be able to scroll through everything again.
Oh, okay, so from what I can see, yes, I am a medical doctor. So I graduated 2 years ago now from medical school. So I've been playing all through medical school and composing, and then got my degree, and then started practicing as a doctor. I work in a hospital as an internal medicine specialist. And yeah, I've worked for 2 years now, and I'm taking a quick break now. How in different countries, your level of training is different. So I'm halfway through residency, but I'm tired. Working two full-time jobs is really hard when you're working 70 hours a week. So I'm taking a quick break to focus on music now for like maybe 6 months, maybe 4 to 6 months to a year. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a perfect transition to our next topic, I think, which is why did we quit our job to pursue music? And I think that we should also answer Shai's question, like how do we both maintain motivation in the music industry? So some of you guys know I've been working full-time in social media agencies before I actually quit my job to pursue music full-time. So basically that was a normal 9 to 5. I was working 9 to 5, come home, just eat dinner, and then work another 3 to 4 hours on my music. So those were like 12-hour days for me. Every day, like just a normal 1.5 job that I had. And I think it was similar to you for you too, right, Popo?
Yeah. When you first start out, when you're just trying to get the hang of things, when your workflow is not correct, when you really have no idea what you're doing, it's really it's a long day. You come up from work and then you put in those hours. You're putting in 3 to 5 hours per. For me at least, I was because I was dumb when I started. I'm sure like you probably maybe only put like 2 to 3 hours in, but in the beginning I was putting in like 5 hours after work every day just to figure out how to get my workflow going. And because I am doing orchestral music, there's so many elements.
Yeah. Let us. There's some new people. Hello, Lala. Oh my God, Popo, glad to hear you. Hello.
Lovely to hear you too. Thanks for coming.
Good morning, Susan. Hello. Welcome in. And Funtown is here too. Hello, Funtown.
Welcome, Funtown.
We have a lot of fun.
It's so much fun in the town. Yeah, so like you were saying, you described it as like 1.5 jobs. It really is in the beginning.
Really is.
Just like when you first start exercising, when you first start working out, it's such a drag. You know you want to get to that goal. You know you want it to sound good. You know your body needs to get fit. But it is about discipline. You really have to push through that initial that initial hard phase to get things moving smoothly.
Yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with passion. Like, you really need to be passionate. That doesn't have to. It should not feel like 1.5 job. It should feel like one job and then the other thing you're really passionate about. Something I don't think neither of us started out making music ourselves with the thought of making it a full-time job. I think we both have thought about it some time in our lives, but the fact that we both started other 9 to 5 jobs just simply means that we probably won't be able to make music full time. It is not so easy to achieve, and it probably won't happen. So this is why you became a doctor and I started working in social media, because you do
Maybe in
need.
the Renaissance period, when we could have had patrons that just paid us to
Yeah,
make art and music, that would have been sublime if we had started out in the Renaissance period.
born in the
But
wrong era.
for sure. But in the modern world, it is you don't you can't just start a career as a musician. You have to build. You have to put all the pieces together slowly. And while you're doing that, you need money. You need money to live and look after your family and buy the things you want, buy the equipment you need to make music. We all start off with like one building block, and then you have to build it from there.
Yeah.
Like when I started making music 1.5 years ago, I refused to spend money on anything because I felt like I needed to prove to myself I can do this without buying fancy software or anything. And because I was poor, I didn't have the money. And I feel like a lot of people are still in that position where they look at the prices of music software and they're like, can I really justify paying £300, $300 for a violin or like a flute that sounds nice or a particular plugin? So I started off with I think I only started buying instruments 6 months ago. So for about 1 year when I started making music, all free plugins,
And you were
all free
perfectly
software.
proving that you don't have to buy expensive stuff to make great music. You can
Exactly.
just use what you have. A
And
lot
there's
of stuff is
so
for
much
free, and
out there. There's
yeah,
so much out there.
there's so much out there. But what I wanted to say is that I probably find it very difficult to decide at the very beginning already that you want to make music full time as your job, as your little job. I'm not sure if that's the right approach to music. I think if you're just starting out with music, then the number one block you have to build first is fun. This is fun for me. This is passion. You really, it really needs to make you happy without you ever seeing one single euro or pound or dollar for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. And the difficult part is once you decide to study music in a school, then you have to spend money on that, right? And that money you have to make back eventually. So you're already entering this whole industry with the promise that you have to make money off of your music, and that's a lot of pressure, and that might have killed my creativity if I went that road. So I think
Especially in the age of social media where especially if you look at like Instagram or TikTok and you see people actually making money off their music or they're living really fancy lives and you think, my God, like I wish that could be me. But that all that does is put pressure on yourself to
yeah,
perform to a certain extent.
yes,
It sounds really flowery, but the passion actually has to come from within
yeah,
because you're going to spend a very long period of time not making any money when you first start out. If your goal is to make money, isn't really the career to do it.
you'll be very
You'll
disappointed.
be
I'm
poor,
telling you,
lads. You will be poor.
you'll be very poor. God, the whole reason why I wanted to do this talk today is because I've recently watched a stream by another producer called Cynthion, and she makes like EDM music. She makes music for Riot
Boom,
Games.
boom.
She makes music for Oz, and she's working with all these big clients. And everyone
Yeah.
thinks she has her shit figured out, right? And she had to move home because she was not able to afford her rent anymore because the streaming revenue went down completely. So she is struggling. She
Yeah.
has to move back to her parents now, uh, and that's the sad truth of
You
making
can't
music.
predict the future. It's not a stable career. So
Yeah,
that's why, like, 95% of us have background careers and music is the passion. Music is, or it's a job, but it's kind of also like a hobby because once you make it a full-time job and you suffer because of that, your passion just disappears because you start hating the fact and all the regrets of like why you chose to do this full time. Once, if you prepare yourself well and then get to the point where, like car, you can actually do it full time, then if you can survive on it, then that's a good point. But nobody starts out that way, I
Yeah,
doubt.
I doubt too. So like some people are so determined that they just study music and go full steam ahead into the music industry. But we're talking about creating here. We're not talking about like being employed by a studio and becoming a music producer in a studio. That is a sustainable job. But if you want to be a musician, a composer who actually creates original music and puts it out there for people to listen, prepare yourself that you probably will not get paid until you're 5, 10 years in. And that's the harsh truth. If you find an artist on Spotify and you really like them, chances are that they don't make music full time. Chances are they work a normal 9 to 5. They come home completely tired, completely exhausted from real life, but they still put in all the work to make this kind of music you're just listening to. So I hope you guys are able to give those artists some extra appreciation for all the effort that goes into such music, because it is a very exhausting lifestyle. Imagine having to work 12 hours a day.
Mhm. If
Um,
you guys are young, if you're in middle school, if you're in high school, this is a good time as any. If this is something that you think you might want to do in the future, start now. Start making music now and see where it goes, because you're not worried about jobs or the complications of relationships or leaving your parents or anything. Might as well start when you're young and
yeah,
see how you feel. Start the process early, learn how to use the software, find what inspires you and all that. Might as well do it early.
yeah. Okay, what was the turning point then? So we were both working full time job 9 to 5s for several years now, but eventually there was a turning point, a tipping point where we decided, okay, now it's the time to make this full.
I don't know if there was even a tipping point. It was like a gradual realization like,
Mm.
oh, people like this. People are paying me for it. I shall just keep doing the same thing. Like, it wasn't like, I don't think I had any big breaks. Unless, like, because I started making music for Little Rain in Webtoon. And then that was already like, I just got into the industry and then people liked it and I just kept going.
Yeah, for me, there was a tipping point, in a sense of, so there were two realizations that I had.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, this does not make me happy long term. So working 12 hours a day, I was able to do it for several years, but eventually there came a time where I had to decide, because I was actually very burned out. Working in social media agencies, especially in
Yeah.
agencies, is not easy, and I suppose that's for being a doctor too. Those are two really stressful jobs, and
Yeah.
um, so the first thing I realized was this is not making me happy forever. So eventually I will have to decide for one thing or the other. Um, and then there was the second realization that I earn money from my music. Like you have to be aware that there comes a time where you're actually seeing results.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to see those results and realize those results. And for me, it was like I started to have clients. I started to have people paying me for my music, appreciating my music, acknowledging that I'm probably good enough, um, so that they can pay me. And both of these things led to me thinking that if I earn money for my music right now, what happens if I just focus all of my energy and my focus on it?
Did you start when you started out, or like at once you realized I can do this as a full time job? Did you were your clients coming in thick and fast, or were you getting them at a regular pace, or were there periods where it was just lulls when you like, damn, no one's approaching me? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. What do you do with the downtime between clients? Are you constantly being bombarded with clients, or do you just do things just wither away?
Well, I do have the lucky. I'm lucky enough to have clients like Soul of Wind who literally come back to me every month. So this is one big factor. Having a stable client. How do you call it?
Stable income?
Yeah. It is. It might not be stable, but at least having someone to talk to again. If you're running dry a little.
Yeah.
Having clients that actually depend on you,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Taking
is important too.
responsibility and getting live feedback as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So I guess, so no, then, so your tipping point for I can do this as a career and actually getting clients was Soul of the Wind then? Do you think?
Yes. I think so.
Okay. So for me, it was definitely Webtoon then because I was getting clients. And then eventually, like very slowly, like every couple of months, I was getting new clients being like, hey, would you like to make music for my comic? And then mine, and then short film, and then more comics. And then here we are today. But I did get, there were lulls. They were like I think there was like a 6 month period. I've only been doing this for 1.5 years, so a 6 month period of no clients is like, oh my god, what's going on? But then it's a very steady drip into a bucket, and then eventually you've got enough water in the bucket to think, oh wow, I could actually do this as a career. And you have to inspire loyalty in your customers or your clients or the people you collaborate with, because then they come back to you. um, so it's about being friendly but professional but nice, but also able to say no and yes and give and take feedback about the music you're making,
Yes.
and also constantly
Absolutely.
staying you have to stay inspired, because otherwise it becomes just a job and you're just plodding along, and that leads to burnout.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
That's.
Shinji had a question. What were you gonna say? And then I'll read the question.
I know we can read the question.
Okay, so the question said, where do you guys get your inspiration from? I used to write lyrics a lot, but lately I feel like I don't have anything to say. I feel like everything I write is not good enough. How do you handle that?
Good question. Very good question. How do I handle that? I mean, I suffer from severe imposter syndrome actually. So I regularly doubt myself. And I look at all the other artists around me that are so talented that but that are not as equally successful as I am. And it makes me feel like, do I really deserve this? Wait, let me turn off the music a little. It's a little bit too loud on my end. How do I deal with that? I mean, at some point you have to let go of the projects you're working on and just do as good as possible and just acknowledge that this is done. So try to actively finish music, and if you at one point decide it's finished, then it's finished. There are a lot of music that I could come back to now and improve them a lot, but those pieces are finished. I finished them, and I think that's really important because you improve at such a fast rate sometimes that it's impossible to make every music perfect at the get-go. If there's if something like perfect even exists for music.
It doesn't.
It
It's
doesn't.
music is so subjective.
Yeah.
Like I was saying about like working out in the beginning, it's so hard. I feel like every time I even make a piece of music, it feels like I'm working out my brain, because it's finishing, starting and finishing a project are probably the hardest bits. The in between, the middle bit is where is the part where you're like euphoric about working on this thing. But to get things moving and to actually tie things up is a discipline.
No.
So you have to be firm with yourself about starting and ending a project,
Yeah.
and then just allow your mind to be free in the middle, because it's so hard to start new things. It's so hard to end things as well.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be perfect. What
Yeah.
is the definition of good enough? Whose standard are you using? I feel like everyone in the world tries to be special, but you don't have to be special. You just have to be good.
Yeah.
There's no
So
such thing as special. There's like 9 billion of us now.
yeah. So your job as a musician is not to make perfect music every time. There's no such thing as perfect. Your job is to make music that sounds good to you and just then put it out for everyone else to listen to. And you will get a lot of feedback. Some will love it, some don't, but take the feedback and work on something new. Don't try to come back and get yourself into a loop where you're trying to improve every little thing of your older songs every time you learn something new. That's not going to work like that. Um, so one story I need to tell is I think it was last year where I released something on my second piano account, like Gentle Rain.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the song is called In Room Full of You. And I finished that song like, okay, I did not finish, but I made the song in March last year and I hated it. I disliked it so much that I left it for like another few months until December last year, where I decided to come back and be like, okay, yeah, okay, let's try just releasing it. I think it sounds fine, and it's now the most popular song
Oh my
on my
god.
profile.
That's
So
so nice.
so I think you just need to take a leap with your music, even if you feel like it's not perfect. You have to take the leap and put it out there for people to listen to, and then use that feedback to work on the next stuff.
Yeah, making music makes you vulnerable. It does. But that's probably the beauty of it because you learn how to have that inner confidence, that inner strength because if you don't believe in your music, nobody else will. They have to be able to feel your passion and the belief in yourself through their ears, through the headphones. And the only way to do that is if you like yourself and if you like your music.
Yes. How do you get inspired though? Are you what happens if you get if you're feeling dry from inspiration?
Hmm. Oh, they say it sounds static again.
Oh,
Beep beep. Beep beep.
okay.
Beep beep. Static.
How about now?
How about now, guys? Da 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 da. Am I still static? What do we think?
Still static? Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
okay,
okay
okay.
now. Okay. Do you actually change any settings when I go static? Or do you just like leave
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I changed sample rate back and forth between
Uh,
44K and 48K, and somehow that
oh,
fixes
fair.
stuff.
We don't know what's going on, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we know how to
See,
fix
we're
it.
professionals. We're just, oh, let me change sample rate. Maybe that works. Oh, okay,
Turn
okay.
it on and
But
off
but but
again.
why does it work? I said, oh, don't
Yeah,
ask
I don't
me.
know. I don't know why
Don't
it
ask
don't
me.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
What are we talking about?
Inspiration. What
Oh
what
yeah.
is if you don't feel inspired?
Oh.
Because the part that makes making music for a living so exhausting is that you do have deadlines. You have to be inspired eventually. You can just tell your clients, oh, sorry, I don't feel it today. They need your
You have
music.
they need it.
They need it.
I think you have to fill your world with things that make you happy and things that inspire you. In order for you to be inspired, you have to surround yourself by things that are inspiring. So, for example, I listen to a lot of music on Spotify or whatever. I whenever I actually need inspiration, I watch a lot of anime because that always inspires an emotion in me. It shows me the power of music in making a scene, and I always think like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. So if you surround yourself with things that are inspiring, that allows you to when your well is dry, it allows you to pull from that when you
Mm.
need it. I keep a lot of sound bites, or I even keep like I have a Mac, so I have like the Notes app. And whenever something inspires me, if I watch a certain anime clip or a video, or even hear an ad on TV and it inspires me, I'll make a note of what about that thing inspired me. I'll even put like a time stamp of where it started inspiring me and when it stopped, and then I'll just keep it. And then if I need to draw on inspiration, I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to look at the walls and be like, oh my god, I have nothing that inspires me. I just
Yeah.
have to open my files. I just have to look at the timestamps, have a listen to the music, and that's enough.
Yeah.
So
Completely agree
basically,
with that. Yeah.
I collect sound bites.
Well, what helps for me too is to change perspective and start somewhere I usually don't start. Like if I make solo piano music, then one thing that always helps me get the new perspective is just to use another piano sound. Like no piano sounds the same. It does not feel the same. If you just play a different piano, it will feel the same. It will sound differently. And that alone on my ears already helps a lot, because if I hear the same VST over and over again, then
Yeah.
it somehow dries up.
A lot of people find that also like walking in nature or hanging out with friends or just doing something different, something that
Oh,
you enjoy,
I get so many
elevate.
fucking ideas going on a walk with my dog.
Oh, really? I get all
Yeah,
my ideas in the shower,
in the
always,
shower.
without fail. I feel like I don't know if it's a shower or if I've Pavlov dogged myself into just getting ideas in the shower.
You need to
I don't know
shower
what
more often
the
now,
minute
Popo.
my
But do
water
you
bill.
also have this panic, like you're in the shower, you're just showering, and then you get this idea, and you're like, holy shit, what if I forget?
I
What if I
do. I forget
forget?
all the time. I would say I forget 50% of the time.
And
Just like I
then you're
wash
like,
my hair like 4 times and I'm like, oh no.
oh
Oh,
no,
oh
what
no. I have
wash faster.
oh no. By the time I finish washing, it's all gone. It's gone down the drain.
Yeah, always have I have a recorder on my phone, and sometimes I just hum the melody into the recorder. And I also
Yeah.
have a piano app where I just when I'm on the road, I just
Oh yeah, I had
take
that. I had that when you're desperate and you're like, oh, I just need to write this down.
yeah yeah. You do please people write your ideas down. You will
Yeah,
forget.
guys,
You will
right?
definitely
Your
forget.
brain is not, I'm telling you, your brain is not big enough to
Yeah
hold all of that passion inside. If something inspires you, write it down, put a timestamp, record it, anything, just so that you don't have the pressure of remembering it.
yeah
And even if you like Carr did with his song that is now best on his channel, even if you just put it down for months, you can still come back to it later. It's comforting. It's
yeah
comforting to always have something to lean back on.
yeah. I do have a sketchbook that I fill every month. Like
Oh,
all of the ideas come into the sketchbook. It's a separate Ableton file, and it's just full of ideas that I had at one point in time, and then I just come back and see if they still sound amazing, and if they do, I will
yeah.
finish them. Yeah,
And even if they don't, like,
maybe sometime later.
yeah, even if they don't, it's still something you can build on. It's really nice to see where you started and
Yeah.
where you end up. I think someone's at a question of like, how is your style? What did they say? Like, how is your style? Do you think your style has changed from when you first started to now?
Oh,
What
a
this question
lot.
is more for you because I'm a baby. So,
Yeah, Baba.
what do you think? I'll answer to
Um,
you, but up to you.
I think my style has changed a lot, not in the sense of playing the piano. I think my music is still quite similar to what it was 5 years ago. But what definitely changed is how I view production. So earlier, 5 years ago, I would just record the piano, and then that's it. It sounds good. I put it up. And now I'm like, do I choose the right reverb? Do I have to EQ the reverb?
Mm.
Do I have to make the sound softer?
The more
Like
you know, actually, the more complicated it gets.
yeah, not viewing music as a string of melodies only, but also about how do I design my sound. It's a very big part of making music. even
But
if
that's
it's just
fun.
solo
That is
piano.
really fun as well,
Yeah,
though.
it is. It is
You,
really fun. I spent a whole day building a new piano sound the other day,
oh hell
and
yeah!
it's just so much fun. It is just as much fun as actually composing stuff, because it's like you're building sound,
It's like you're
and
building yourself as well because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
only you can do this. Only you can take something that only you can take a color and paint it on a canvas and paint the whole picture. Only you can paint the painting with the colors that everyone else is using. So it's very unique, and that's probably why it's fun because you know that it's coming just from you.
yes. Okay.
Ambient Classical says, what percentage of time would you say you spend creating music versus publishing marketing work?
Oh God.
Um,
um.
I spend so much time on marketing. In this day and age, you're not just a musician, you're a content creator, lads.
Yeah. I
So
would
being
say
a
50-50. What do you say?
oh my gosh, I don't know because I make reels, right? And I put a lot of effort into like my iMovie stuff. So I'll say 50-50. I
I
don't
say
think it should be
50-50.
that way. I wish it was different. I wish it was 75. I wish it was 100-0. I wish someone else would just do it for me.
Yeah,
But
but it's
alas,
important to note that we're not
we're
on
independent.
labels. We're
Yeah.
independent. We're independent artists, so we have to do it all by ourselves. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It's not only about making music. It's also about marketing and publishing,
If you
and
want
taxes and all
oh
that stuff.
god, don't even start. But if you want to make this a career, or if you want to widen your audience, which I think everyone does, I can't imagine someone being like, I only want 500 people to listen to this song and that's it. I'm sure everyone wants to grow their audiences. If you want to do that, you have to put in the marketing work because no, if people don't know about your music, how are they going to listen to it?
Yeah.
And if you don't have a label or anyone to help you with that, you have to do it yourself. You can join a label, that's always an option. But you lose a lot of your independence in the process.
Yeah.
And that's
Sure.
probably why a lot of people don't. Especially now in this day and age where it's really easy to be an independent artist. It's easy to do everything yourself. Or, okay, it's not easy. It's medium difficulty to do everything yourself, but it's hard to keep doing it. And you sink so much time, the currency of people, you sink so much time into marketing yourself.
Yeah.
And only you can tell if it's worth it or not, depending on like what your goals are.
Exactly. So yeah,
Me,
50-50 at least, maybe even more.
sometimes it's more. If I have a
Sometimes
release
it's
coming
more.
up, or if I finish a song, I will spend it like 100% of the time
Yeah.
learning, thinking about how to market it. I think
Oh yeah,
Mia
should we make a detour to talk about labels if we're at it already?
I think we should answer. Mia's asked the same question twice. I think we should probably answer it. Sorry,
Oh.
Mia. And then we should
Yeah.
talk about
Okay.
label.
What question? Do you think that your mental health has an effect on the music you make?
What do you think?
I think it used to have a lot of impact on my music. It depends on the music, right? It's not like whenever I put something that sounds sad that I'm really sad. That's just not true.
I agree.
Because you're still working for clients, and the clients want something that sounds sad. Then you make something sad, and it does not require you to be sad to make sad music. No.
I used to think like that though when I was like a teenager. I
Yeah.
used to be
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to be deep in my feels in order to make music. Like I need to feel really sad or experience difficult suffering in order to make music. But I really don't think that's the case anymore. Just
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah. It's definitely not. I think we're all very empathic people though. We understand what it means to feel sad. We know what it means to feel lonely. So we're usually quite musicians are thinking a lot, I think. And I express myself in poetry as well. I know that you don't. But
I was like I did do poetry in school,
Yeah,
but I don't do it like as a means of release, no.
yeah, but I think we do are touchy people, and
Yeah, for sure. I think
we
all musicians
can,
are.
yeah, we can understand feelings, of course. That's just, I think that's a requirement to make music that makes you feel something.
I do think if my mental health is poor, my motivation to make music is low. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but if
If any, it destroys music.
yeah, it ruins your ability to make it, but it doesn't influence your sound. For some people, though, obviously that's definitely not the case. But in my case, maybe because yeah, because we have clients who want happy tunes, and if I'm sad, my music will still sound happy. I've noticed that like times where I've been really stressed about work, or I've been on call, or doing nights at the hospital, and I have to come home and make really happy music. It's really bizarre, but looking back on those
It's
times, it's just funny because I'm like, during that time, I was so stressed, but I
it,
made this really happy music, and I'm proud. I'm proud that I was able to hide my feelings.
yeah, it's extra exhausting to listen to happy music when you're
Oh
actually
my god, that's the worst. When you're
when you have
sad,
poor mental
when you're
health.
sad and you're listening to like really happy flute music, you're like, oh,
Oh
why?
God, yeah, yeah, yeah.
God, why?
So yeah, there are some cases where mental health makes it harder for us to make music, but we
You lose
still
your
make it.
motivation.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
lose your motivation, and it kind of sounds off every now and then.
So that is
Yeah,
why in surrounding yourself by things that inspire you ends up improving your mental health anyway. And it's
yeah.
just it's a good snowball effect because your mental health will improve, you'll be inspired, you'll make music, and then the cycle will just continue for
Hmm.
as long as you can maintain it.
Yeah, I do use music as a vessel sometimes though. When I used to feel very sad in the past, and those days produce some very good music. You just
Yeah.
it can both
Yeah.
work both ways, definitely. It can be a very strong creative power, but it also can be a very risky state of mind
It's
that,
risky to it's
yeah.
risky to force yourself or allow yourself to get low just to make music. Like
Yes.
it's a toxic approach.
Yes, yes.
But
Don't make yourself sad just to make sad music.
yeah, yeah.
Don't do
But
that.
a lot of people do find that their passion is best when they're melancholic or sad. And
Yeah,
it's a double-edged sword.
it's very very risky.
I don't really make that much sad music, and that's probably why. Because I don't like to be sad. But some people do. Some people enjoy the melancholic
Mm,
feeling
yeah,
and like staring at the rain and feeling sad. So
yeah,
it's entirely your personality and it's entirely the genre of music that you want to go into.
yes,
But for us, we're like chill, calm music. So
yeah, yeah. We make the music that relaxes you, and
yeah,
that's our goal. Our
yeah,
goal
that's our
isn't to
goal.
make you sad, also.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. All right. Okay, we wanted to talk about labels. We can do that later. We still at
Vi
the
wants to know what's the most rewarding part of being an independent musician?
being independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy, I
Yeah.
think.
Why is it better to be independent, do you think?
Um, okay, yeah, yeah. Why not talk about labels? So what do labels do for you? Labels promise
Oh, what a good
you
transition.
to,
Yes, go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a professional. Hello, hello. Okay. Labels are there to publish your music, right? Uh, they're there with the promise that you just send them the music and they do the rest. Like the 50% of marketing and stuff that we mentioned before, they would do, and you just focus on making music and money. So that's the premise. That's the way labels market themselves to you.
It's a
Um,
factory.
it's a factory, yeah, yeah. And some labels actually do that. Other labels just use you to collect music. And I would say that most labels use you to collect music. They just promise you a lot of things, and then get to them, send in your music, they will publish it, they will just do some things, and after a month, they will just drop it and talk to the new artist. Or talk to you again about the next release, even though they haven't done anything to market your older release.
They're a bit
Yeah,
cold sometimes,
yeah,
all the
and
time.
I worked with a label before. I won't tell which label, but they just put the music out, and that's it. That's basically it. I lost a percentage of the royalties, of course, because you need to give them something. Um, but all the marketing that they promised, they did not do, and that's my one-time experience with the label. Some other labels they support you a lot more. A lot of labels nowadays have like their own Spotify playlist that have multiple 10,000 followers, and they just put your music in there. It is also a very low effort way to support your music, but at least it results in something. But most likely, you send in your music, they release it, and that's basically it. So
It's heartbreaking how like so many of us have gone through that. We gone through a process where you think you give someone your music and you think they're going to do right by you, but they just don't.
yeah,
We're all kind of like we all go through a phase where we're kind of schmucks with how we distribute our music.
yeah. And
Everyone does it, at least once.
so yeah, let's not forget that labels are businesses. They exist to make money in the
They are
least.
companies.
Yeah, yeah. They want to make the most money with the least amount of costs, and you need to be aware of that. Then they're not like, we totally believe in your music and we want to spend millions now to make you successful. No, they probably have like 50 other artists that are just like you that they have to promote. Like even popular labels like Chilled Cow and Mr. Suicide Sheep, those labels they will not make you famous overnight because they have so many artists in their repertoire that all need equal treatment. So do not expect a big breakthrough just by signing with them. And especially if you're new to music, do not make your artist exclusive to them. Like take one release and go to a label and say, this one release I want to release with you, but the rest of it stays with me. That's always a good way to approach this.
Yeah, because you really are like signing. You don't want to hook your wagon to this huge company that doesn't really care about you, especially not straight away when you're generally just naive about the process of how this works.
Yeah. So yeah, the most rewarding part of being an independent musician is, first of all, you keep all your royalties. You don't
Yeah.
lose any money from the streams, for example. And second part is, if you get successful with it, then you can say you did it all on your own. Like my music got put into Spotify's biggest playlist twice now, and both songs are without any label. So a lot of labels come to you and they tell you, yeah, you release music with us and we will pitch to Spotify for you. But if those pitches get actually accepted, they will not be able to control, obviously. So it is definitely possible to do all those achievements on your own. You don't actually need a label. So the only time where I would go to a label is if they have actual things they can support me with without taking too much effort. Like
Yeah.
having their own playlist on Spotify that has already 10,000 followers. That's a fact that's something they can offer you. But something like, we will pitch for you to Spotify, like, that's an empty promise.
Best advice we can give is that if you need help or you're unsure of something, always seek someone else to advise you, or like seek someone you trust to advise you about how things work, because jumping into these sorts of things is you might regret if you just like sign a contract or sign your life away or something. So just always be careful. No, nobody starts off like just knowing about these things, especially me, because I'm so new to the business. I actually had to Google and learn what all of these terms mean, how business works, how
Mm.
advertising and marketing works, getting advice from other composers. It all shapes your approach to how you promote your music. So just be careful and make sure to educate yourself. Educate yourself before you do anything.
Yeah. Because I do have to talk about this. There is a whole new business revolving about around taking advantage of your dreams and wishes. Like the whole Spotify playlist industry is basically dead. Like you probably don't know, but there's a whole curator industry on Spotify. So a curator is someone who just puts songs into a playlist, and then they allow you to pitch your music to them. Sometimes that costs money, like on platforms like Submit
Mhm.
Hub. You
Yeah.
you pay a set amount of money for a chance to pitch,
It's
and
a whole business.
yeah, and this chance to pitch is most likely just them listening to your music and deciding if they want to put your music into the playlist. So even if they put your music into the playlist, it will usually just stay for a few weeks, and then they will remove your song again because they do want you to repitch the music to them to stay on it. Like you get into this brand new playlist with a lot of listeners, your numbers raise, and then they just take the music out and your numbers drop again, and that's always heartbreaking. And just like gambling, you hate losing money, you hate losing listeners, you hate losing streams. So what do you
It's
do?
like how on Instagram you can boost, right? You can boost your posts so that they reach more people, kind of like an advert. But
Yeah,
then the minute you stop boosting, the minute you stop paying Meta, your views just completely just drop back down.
yeah,
It's the same sort of thing,
it's the same
but it's
sort of
just
thing.
it's music related boosting, and it doesn't work. You need organic growth, and you're not going to get that from these quick fixes.
Yeah, but there's a whole business revolving around
Scamming,
offering you this quick fix. Like
scamming people.
I'll put your music into this big playlist, and then you're going to be famous. That's not the case, guys. That's not the case.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Slow and steady building your organic growth is the best way forward.
Yeah,
And I'm sure like everyone's curious. We've all tried, every musician has tried Submit Hub. The term for it is playlist pitching. So you pitch your music to a playlist, and then the owner of that playlist decides whether or not they'll put you on their playlist. So and then they might charge you money to be put on the playlist. It's a whole business that we've all tried. We've all tried playlist pitching. I don't think it's ever worked. I've they
well,
always give you feedback and things, but do you need feedback or do you need results?
yeah. I mean, I don't have anything against that per se. I mean, it's it might be a way to reach new listeners. It's not like those are scams and those aren't real listeners or something. They're definitely service providers, quote unquote, that guarantee you a playlist placement for a set amount of money. This is hella fishy. Do not do that. Absolutely not. There is no such thing as guaranteed playlist placements, because that only means that playlist is something everyone can just throw in whatever. The worst music that you can think of will get a place in this playlist if they pay money for it. That's not a high quality playlist you're looking at.
It's also damaging, isn't it? Because Spotify doesn't like it, like their algorithm and stuff. If you start using these like wishy-washy means to get onto
Yeah,
these
yeah,
playlists, they suppress your algorithm, something
yeah.
like that.
It could be. It could be. So don't do that. While Submit Hub um, might not be the fairest in terms of playing with your dreams and your insecurities, but at least they can provide some real listeners and some real
Mm-hmm.
playlists that have actual good content on them, because they can
Yeah.
still You can pay for the pitch, and they can still reject you because the music isn't up to par with their required quality. That can always happen. You
Yeah,
pay for the chance
pay
to
for
get
the
on that.
chance.
Yeah.
It is a gamble, but I feel like a lot of probably one of the reasons why music is so difficult as a career is because you're constantly making these leaps of faith, and then you're putting effort into things that you're not sure you're gonna get reward back on, that you're gonna get results from. You just have to keep putting yourself out there. Oh no, static.
Static. Okay. Let me change the sample rate again.
Beep beep. Beep
I'm
beep beep.
an engineer. I know how this works.
Still staticky, or we good? Any static now? How about now?
It's like the perfect reminder how far in we're already in the
I
stream.
know.
Like
It's
like
like
how many static popos do we have today?
Esthetician. It worked.
Esthetician.
Okay.
It worked.
We're back.
Of course it does.
Oh my god, foolproof.
I know what I'm doing. No, I don't.
What was I
Alright.
saying? Was I saying something smart? What was I saying?
You're always saying something smart.
Oh my god, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah, so it's a gamble. Just know that it's a gamble. But taking those leaps of faith can be exhausting. So only take as many as you can. And
Yeah.
then just you make music for yourself mostly. And then you share it with other people. Until you have clients, in which case you're making music for other people. But even then, you've got clients who you're making music for. But if you're not inspired, you're not going to produce good results. So you have to make music for yourself.
Yes. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, girl.
Mia says, "How do you deal
tell
with
them?
criticism? How do you deal with criticism, both constructive and negative?" Criticism.
Yeah. Popo, how do you deal with my criticism?
You do not. You do not criticize me.
I do. Sometimes.
Being roasted is different. Okay.
Hello.
Uh,
No, apart from my roast, I do
Probably.
tell you some criticism every now and then,
Every now and then, but
and you
that's
do too.
yes.
Yes.
But that's feedback. That's different. Are we talking about how do you deal with negative comments, or are we talking about feedback and people who would want you to improve your music? Because those are two very different things. And
Yeah.
it can, especially when you're not confident in yourself, or you're not feeling well, you're not mentally in the right place, it can feel like one and the same. It can feel like someone's telling you, oh, you should add this instrument here or make this part softer. But in your head, you hear, oh my God, my music's shit. Like, it's very difficult to distinguish the two. But once you can distinguish, is this person, do they want me to improve? Do they want me to do better? Or are they actually just talking shit? Are they being really negative about my music? Once you can tell those two apart, it makes receiving these kinds of comments a lot easier.
Yeah.
I am in a position where I don't really receive negative criticism, or at least I think mentally I'm in a place where I don't think of anything as negative. So
You
that's
suck. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
I really don't think I've ever had anyone hate my music. If
Yeah,
you,
me neither.
it's probably because of our genre as well. We make chill, relaxing music. Like, how could you hate it?
Yeah,
How could you possibly?
I mean, a frequent criticism that I get is that my music sounds very similar. But my thoughts about that is that that's just the type of music I make. It is the context the context for my music, the listening environment, is the background, a chill background. My music is supposed to run in the background while you study, sleep, relax, and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is my goal. My goal isn't to make a unique masterpiece every time and to reinvent myself every time, because that's not the context for my
It's
music.
not possible either. You
It's
don't
not-
have to
yeah.
reinvent the wheel. You just have to be good.
So what helps me to get get along with this criticism is to really know myself, to really know what kind of music I make and what it's for. And it also depends on who's giving out the criticism. Like, if someone I highly respect, someone like you, for example, give me criticism, then it's most likely that it's to improve myself with. I have no interest of surrounding myself with yes people that like everything I do and that don't allow me to really improve myself. So yeah,
I think maybe, I don't know, it could be other genres. Like if I suddenly started doing rock music, maybe people would be like, damn, you suck. But
yeah,
if you are trying to hone a craft, the nice comforting thing about practice is that eventually you become good. So if you are trying to hone your craft in this particular type of music, eventually you'll be good enough that people aren't criticizing you as much, or they're not giving you feedback that you need to improve on. Once you get to that part where you're not really receiving that much feedback, or you're happy with where your music is, it's a lot easier. In the beginning, you'll suck. I'm telling you, when everyone starts doing something new, they always suck. But with practice, they get better and better, and then they start believing in themselves. They start thinking for themselves, and you get to a point where sometimes even feedback from other people, you're like, this, I don't actually need to listen to you because I'm happy with the way my music sounds. It's a balance. Once you get to that point, you think about how your music sounds, and then you can or choose not to take on feedback.
yeah. It's a difference between accepting. Well, how do I say it? There's a difference between being bothered by feedback and actually having to accept it. You can deal with it without accepting feedback too.
Yeah, you can deal with it without accepting it. Exactly. Like you can take on board feedback and then just keep doing what you're doing. If the music is subjective, if they don't like it, you can take their feedback and apply it to another song. Even you don't have to drop whatever you're doing and make all these changes just because someone told you to.
Yes.
Because the whole point of making music is that you're passionate about it, and if you're changing it for someone else's whims, then what is the point?
Yes. There is no right or wrong in music.
There is no right or wrong. That's probably why we like it as well, right? Because
Yeah.
we have or had day jobs, and where we're not entirely in control of what we're doing. We're just doing them to put food on the table. But music allows us to have the control we crave over parts of our lives, and having other people enjoy your independence, having other people enjoy something that started as just a passion project, is so rewarding.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Shall we move on?
We can. This is chaos. Like our we have no structure. We
Where were
wrote
we?
things down, guys. We wrote like little categories for what we talk about, and it just hasn't happened whatsoever.
We're at
But
the
that's
fucking third
okay.
question out of
Out of like
12.
25 questions.
Ah.
I'm sure we answered some of them along the way. It's okay.
Yeah. Let's see. One thing that's interesting for you to know maybe is did your family and friends support your decision to do music?
Ooh.
Let's say music full time because that's the only thing I need to support with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my family was strictly against me making music full time for a long time. So the background is just I have Vietnamese parents. I live in a very sheltered Vietnamese traditional family that values job safety a lot because it's understandable, right? My parents didn't have a lot of security in their youth. They had to leave country to make a better future, and the only thing that drove them for multiple decades is to make my future brighter. So if I'm wasting it, then I'm just wasting their time too. and their all their
Mhm.
efforts. So they were actually highly pushing me to do something that is secure and safe and has a stable income. And music was not that. It was not until I showed them actual results in terms of paychecks that they were like, "Oh, okay, okay, this does make money. Okay, you do you. Go ahead." So sometimes that works like that. Um,
Mhm.
I think I still regret not doing this a little earlier, uh, like a year or 2 years earlier. Um, so yeah,
It's difficult when you're young. It's really difficult to go against authority figures because they house and clothe and feed you, and you grew up with parents who are a huge influence on you, who raised you, so they would like they you model yourself on them. You are mini versions of your parents. So
hmm,
breaking that mold is so difficult. It's
really difficult.
worthwhile, but it only comes with age, really. If you're
Yeah,
doing it too early, it leaves you kind of vulnerable, and you experience a lot of uncertainty. Like if I had decided I'm gonna do music full time from the age of like 12, I, it just things would not have worked out because I was, especially when you're going through puberty, you have no idea what kind of person you want to be. Everything is awkward. You're experiencing so many emotions. It's
yeah.
too hard to make choices when you're young. It's hard to make choices when you're young.
It's also hard to really understand that making music for a living is not just about making music.
Yeah,
Like we already mentioned that 50% of our time is actually making music, and the other 50%, there's no way someone that young can know all of this stuff. I'm actually very thankful that I had another full-time job before, because I learned so much about life and about how to manage my time, how to manage my stress levels, how to manage my the way I treat money. How do I manage my finances?
yeah,
How do I negotiate with people? How do I talk to people? Like I was hella introverted during my youth. So imagine having to talk to clients, negotiate prices, go through contracts with them
hmm,
without having to learn basic human interactions. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's yeah. So I fully understand if parents say you don't know enough for this decision to make this decision, and I completely agree. This decision does not involve how I imagine things, how I imagined making music full time really meant back then, because I really did not know.
yeah. And from your parents, it sounds like it sounds almost like
N-
they're in getting in your way. It sounds like
yeah,
they're blocking you from doing what you want. But when they say you don't have the experience, or you don't know what you want to do yet, it comes from a good place.
it really
Even if
does. It really
it
does.
comes
Yeah,
from a place where they you don't know anything. You're too young, you're too fresh. You're just a little seedling and you haven't grown any flowers yet. But once you get a bit older and you absorb more of the world, once you absorb all the nutrients from the soil. I'm going to use this flower analogy.
yeah.
Once you absorb
Do
all
do it.
the once you absorb all the nutrients from the soil, and you grow some flowers and you feel comfortable in yourself, that's when you decide if you actually still want to do music. And you're constantly reassessing. When I
Yeah,
was 14, I wanted to do music. When I was 16, I was like, I'm going to be an astronaut. And then when I was 18, I went to university to study medicine. And now I'm back at square one, where I'm like, I want to do music.
yeah,
So life, you have to be comfortable with change, and be
yeah,
comfortable in knowing that you're going to change.
yeah,
Because maybe you want to do music now, maybe later you'll decide maybe this isn't for me. And the nice thing about music is it's always there. It doesn't have to be a job. You can always do it as a passion project,
yeah,
and then transition into a job, and then also transition out of
yeah.
it as a job, and then do something else. It'll always be there for you, and
But
will always
absolutely,
be there for you.
ask yourself what it really means to make something your job. Like, first of all, you need to understand what it means to survive this world. and that is really really important, because I know a lot of artists who say like, I want to do art for a living. So my question would be, okay, how do you pay your bills? How do you make this and that? How do you pay for your equipment? How do you keep your clients? Like all of this stuff you need to learn to actually make a living out of anything. And what your parents usually want is that you learn these things, communicate to them that you understand them and that you're safe and that you're strong. And then I'm sure they will also allow you to make whatever you want for a full-time job.
Yeah, and even if you decide to do something else, like even if you go to medical school or you pursue maths or physics in university or whatever, you can always come back. You can always come back to music later,
Yes.
or on the side as a way of letting off steam. You can make music to
Yeah,
distract
you're
yourself.
learning so much about how to live in any job you do. So
Yeah,
just if your parents want you to study something else, then just
do both.
think about if you can accept it, and if you can accept it, just think about how much about making music you're learning in your medicine studies. Being a doctor, how much you actually learn to apply for later, if you do decide to make music for a living, like human interactions, like being stress free, finding channels to channel your stress into. All those things are so super important, and you do not always you do learn those things in classical music studies.
Yeah, yeah. Even going to university for music will still give you those life skills that you need later on in life. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You can still do music, you can do other things. If my background of doing music and medicine teaches anyone anything, it's that you can do whatever you want. You can do everything. As long as you put in the time and effort, you can do whatever you want in this world.
Yes.
But when I say time and effort, I mean a significant amount of time and effort. But it's something that you learn along the way,
Yeah.
how to manage your time, especially.
Exactly. All right. Who am I? Apologizes for comments that may have hurt someone. I've not seen any comments that hurt people.
Ooh.
Hmm.
If you can go back and give advice to your younger self starting music, what would it be? To my 4-year-old self?
Hmm. What would it be? Starting a music, just starting a music. So what
I
would
don't
I?
think there is any advice to give yourself. I guess, no, I guess the advice would be to just keep doing it. Like, if you're going to start from a young age, you might as well just keep making music here and there casually, grow your sound, learn what you like, learn about yourself in the process. And then eventually you'll just get to a point where you can just do it independently.
Yeah.
Just keep making it. That's the only thing you can do. Just keep making music.
Yeah. I would tell my younger self to be more confident,
Yeah.
because I really need to be more confident in my own stuff.
Yeah, it's an ongoing struggle.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing like self-discovery, learning how to be confident and being confident in your music and how to interact with other people.
Yeah.
It's all work in progress. Even
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I said I wanted to make. I said I hoped that I would have quit my job a little bit earlier, but actually, I'm very glad that I did not make music as my study topic, study major or something. I'm really glad that I took that detour and work full time at a social media agency. I think I learned a lot about making music full time in a job that did not involve music at all.
Yeah, I
So
did
yeah,
think
I would.
about like if I had studied it in uni, like if things would how
Yeah,
different things would be. I don't know. I
I
don't know
don't
if
know. I don't know either. I don't think I regret that. I don't
yeah, me
regret
neither.
not having to study music, having studied music.
From people who have studied music in university, I have heard that you do make more contacts early on
Hmm.
because you're just working with other people that are in the music industry. But I
Yeah.
don't necessarily know if having a music degree makes you more successful as an artist, as an independent artist. I
Yes.
don't, because you just have to be good.
Yeah. Like I think we're both pretty decent for not having studied music at all.
Yeah, I did. I did go to my like middle school and high schools had good
Yeah.
music programs, so I was like in the orchestra. I was in the school
Yeah.
orchestra. I took piano lessons when I was younger. So having a background in it,
Yeah.
learning how to
Absolutely.
play the
Absolutely.
instruments helps. Learning how to play the instruments
Yeah.
helps, but I don't know if you need knowledge of like the history of music, or you need to know exactly what that technique is, or
Yeah.
how certain major and minor chords work. You don't really need that to start. You need very little to start,
Yeah.
but it's just
Your
you just
your
have
your
to
road
start.
your road doesn't have to be straight. You
No,
can make detours and explore other parts of your life
you
and
can,
learn and
yeah.
learn and learn and learn.
But as long as you have to step onto the road. You can just stand on the road and watch it wind in front of you and not take any steps. But if you have to actually try.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like you achieved success in your music career?
Hmm.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause there because I have to go for a quick pee break because I drank a lot
Okay.
of tea. Do you want to
Okay.
answer the
Okay.
question like and then I come back?
Yeah. Yeah. I will answer the
Okay.
question.
Okay. Be right back, guys.
Okay. Be right back, Popo. Uh, do I feel like I achieved success in my music career? I think. I think there are times where I felt very succeeding. It's always like your perspective changes a lot when you think back. When you actually turn around and look at all the things that you've successfully done, then I do feel accomplished. Um, but I've never had the feeling like, all right, this, I'm done now. I'm done now. And I don't think this will ever happen. If you're making music as your full time job, then you're probably never done. You're never done. You'll never be like, okay, this is a goal. This is the finish line. There is no finish line. There's just moving forward with the music you make and learning and learning and learning and continuing to learn. So looking back, I see the success I made. But looking forward, I can still see this long, long, long road ahead of me. And I'm glad there is a long road ahead of me. I'm glad that I do have a feeling that I'm nowhere near done with this. I hope this answered the question. Okay, before Popo comes back, I'll answer some more questions. I want to know, since when did you start playing the piano? I play the piano since I was 4 years old. So I'm 30 now. This is 26 years ago. All right. I probably miss a lot of people joining the chat. Well, I'm gonna say hello to everyone that I haven't greeted personally, and hello Flawless Melody in particular, because your comment is right down below here. What's your most favorite part during the process of making music? I think this is a good question. I think I'll wait until Popo comes back before moving on. But my favorite part during the process of making music is listening to the result and how it gets better and better every time. Like, my music sounds like shit when I start making it, to be quite honest with you. And it's just, as soon as everything comes together, as soon as you use your EQ to carve out the sound you're making, and as soon as you put in some plugins and effects, and then you press play and everything plays together, that's incredible. It's like, holy moly, it sounds so good. And this realization of this sounds really good, that's the favorite part of me in making music. So I usually don't like listening to my own music uh, after it's released, but while I'm making it, during the whole composition and production process, I love listening to it, and that's a sure thing. It's a sure sign that this is really good. I should continue making this. All right. I think when Purple comes back, we might have some spicy topics coming up. We might talk about sources of income and some experiences with clients. So if you have any questions in that direction, feel free to send them in chat. Because
Hey,
I
I'm
still...
back.
Hello, Popo, welcome back.
Thank you. Did I miss anything?
I was answering some questions, but one question that I still want to hear your answer of is what's your favorite part during the process of making music?
Ooh.
Ooh. I said that it's having everything come together and that realization that, damn, this sounds good. That's my
Yeah,
favorite part.
I think it would be the same because when in the process of making music, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Does this sound nice? I don't know. And then you put it all together and you think, oh wow, this actually does
Wow.
sound really nice. And then you start
Yeah.
adding layers and you add more and more and more. And you think, oh, this sounds nice. Oh my god, this sounds even nicer.
Yeah.
Or then you try something, you're like, oh, this doesn't sound nice, but that's okay. I'm gonna try something else.
So sometimes I do have this moment where I think that, damn, this doesn't sound good. This doesn't work, and then I clash in a EQ and just carve out a few things, and then I'm playing it back, and then I'm like, hell yeah, I know how to make music.
Yeah, I think once all your layers are stacked and you've put icing in between them, the
Yeah.
cake tastes good. But I also really like the beginning, like when you open up your music software known as a DAW, which stands for Digital Audio
Workstation. Yeah.
Workstation. Once you open up your DAW and you're staring at that blank screen and you need to pull the instruments that you want together and you've got an idea of what you want to do in your head but you don't know how to do it yet. I quite like that fresh blank feeling.
Mm.
I really like having this calm in my mind where I am completely in control of what I'm about to do and I can do whatever I want because music comes from you and it comes from all the all the passions that you have. So
Yeah.
I think that opening up my DAW, I think that's quite addictive as well, starting new things. But that makes it difficult because I know I have to finish projects. I told you that I work on like 8 projects at the same time
There's
because I'm
so
addicted.
many
I'm
fucking
very
works in
sorry.
progress all the
I know.
time.
Oh my god, I'm
Oh god. No,
sorry.
I'm trying to get better at that because I used to just start a new project, make the first 30 seconds of it, and then I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't like this anymore. And then I start something new, and that the same thing happens again. I do need to finish stuff before I have this tipping point of like, damn, yes, this is so good. I want to release this as soon as possible. Usually the first 30 seconds that I make of a song are not that.
Yeah,
So,
someone told. I think I read either listened to another
oh,
musician say it
Popo,
or something.
you
Oh,
static,
static, beep beep,
static.
beep beep. La 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 la.
Wait,
Bum, bum, bum. Flick the knob. Change
I
it.
I'm flicking the knob, but it's not. Where's the window
Beep
at?
beep
Oh, there it is.
beep beep beep
Just moved it to the left side. Okay, try again.
beep beep beep.
Beep 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 boop.
Ooh, you sound weird now.
I sound weird now.
Yeah, you're a bit staticky.
How's this?
Yeah, that's back. That's okay now.
Okay.
Okay, Sherry said, thanks, Sherry. Coming in clutch.
Thanks,
She said,
Sherry.
sounds good. Okay, what were we talking about again? Thanks for coming,
uh,
Mia, and thank you for asking all those lovely questions. Had such
yes.
a good time. Come back soon.
We're so into talking that we can't say goodbye to other people. But here a general thank you to all of the people who were listening, who are listening. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining.
you
Thank
can
you so
come
much.
back later.
If we can't say goodbye to you, then we're really sorry. But we really appreciate you being here.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
so we're talking about my inability to have balance because I got eight projects going on at the same time.
Yeah,
It is. It's
same.
a starting new project. So I heard this musician say that don't show other people your work, like whips, until you've significantly done a lot of like if until you like 75% through way through the song, because a lot of your motivation comes from showing other people. So once you've shown them your whip, your work in progress, you lose the motivation to finish the song, and then you just move on to something else.
Yeah,
So psychologically, that for me especially, psychologically, that makes a huge amount of sense, because I noticed that if I share a work in progress on my Instagram or something, the minute I come back to that project, it feels like a drag. But before that moment, I was like so excited. I was like, I can't wait to show people.
yeah,
I can't wait to continue this project. But in the minute you show other people, it falls flat. So to avoid
yeah,
that, but I know that I have clients to
yeah,
to satisfy,
yeah.
so I can't just stop it there, especially when
I
it
ha-
comes to your own music.
yeah. I also have another issue that is the other way around. That when I listen to my music too much, and if I like it too much, and re-listen to it all over
Oh my
again, then
god.
suddenly it changes. It suddenly feels like it's the worst thing you ever done.
Yeah,
You know that, right?
I'm definitely one of those people that like if I like a song, even if it's not my own, if I like a song, I'll listen to it the same thing on repeat for like three
Yeah.
days because that's the way I am, I guess.
Same,
And then I'll just
same.
stop listening to it, which
Yeah.
I don't think that's a healthy approach. But
No, not if you're making music.
no, not if you're making music.
Not if you're making music.
Do you ever
Yeah.
find that you listen to your own music and you're like, damn, this sounds lame?
Yeah, all the time.
But it's you can say all that, but at the end of the day, you have that inner confidence that you're like, I know it's good, and I know other people will like it.
Yeah.
I'm just cringing right now. It's just
I try to remind myself that at one point I really liked this, and
yeah,
people might feel the
yeah,
same way about that, right?
yeah.
So yeah, my
Especially when you
views
get
might
to
get
the
skewed a bit.
end during the
Yeah,
mixing process. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I've
it's
listened
just
to
as the mix and master process right at the end takes the longest time, and because it takes so long, you're listening to the same song again and again and again and again, like
or the
at
same
least
like
20, 30
10 second.
times.
You're listening to the
Yeah,
same 10-second part of your
and then you're
song
just like,
50
oh god,
times. You're like, oh my
I
god.
want to do I don't want to do this anymore. God damn it, please save me from this music. And it's very very easy to fall into the trap to think that, oh god, this does not sound good. I actually had this feeling with Fragments, the new song I
Yeah,
released with
yeah.
like
Fragments is
Gentle Rain.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I listened to it so much that I suddenly somehow thought, and I actually believe that this isn't good music, that this does not work, until other people reminded me that this song might actually be pretty and beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah,
When I don't like something, I do like to show other people, because just the people around me, like families and friends, because then they remind me that it sounds okay. Because they aren't listening to that same 10-second piece of your song that you are. The part that you're
yeah,
like insecure about. For example, like if you're painting a picture of like a beautiful still life of like an apple, and you like made a mistake in one tiny corner of the canvas, that's all you can think about. But everyone that comes and looks at that piece of art just looks at the whole picture.
yeah,
But it's really difficult
Yeah.
when you're in the moment. It's really difficult to know. I take breaks. I think I mentioned it to you a couple of times. I call it ear blindness, especially
Yeah,
when you're
I call it ear
mixing.
fatigue.
Yeah, yeah, the exact same
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Ear fatigue, ear blindness,
Ear
hmm
blindness,
ear blindness.
eye
But
fatigue,
yeah.
eye deafness.
But when that happens, I think that happens to me after about 2 hours because you're listening so intently that it comes to a point where you just hear flat sound,
Yeah,
or you just can't do it anymore. I have to take a break at that point. I think 2 hours is my limit.
yeah. You always have to take a break after a while.
I think for other disciplines you can just keep going, like without injury to yourself. Like if you were to draw or paint, I know some people that can sit for like 6 hours and just draw and
Yeah,
paint. But for
but I think
music,
still, you should stand up and just walk a few meters and look
yeah,
at the picture from way back to really see what you've been doing in detail the whole time. So I
yeah,
do think you need
yeah.
to take a few step backs. And for us, it's taking a break for a few hours at
Even
least.
though, like, if I hate something or I'm like feeling really, if I'm really frustrated with something because the melody's not coming together, it doesn't sound right, I'll take like 2 days off. I guess because I have a job in the background, I have the luxury of doing that, and I
Yeah.
allow myself to have to not make my deadlines too close if I can.
Mm.
I always allow breathing room for myself because if you don't like something, you can just stop for like 2 days and you come back and you realize like, hey, this sounds pretty nice. I'm so talented. This sounds pretty good.
Exactly.
Sherry says being critical of your own work makes you want to become even better the next time, and you'll keep improving. Those are some really wise words, Sherry.
Yes, totally agree.
But also, being overcritical of yourself is bad too. I feel like what's that expression? We are our harshest critics.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes. I
we
think
are.
that's
I think we
we
are.
are. We are definitely are.
But then at the same time, it hurts your feelings when you are your harshest critic. You put hours and hours into making it perfect, and then someone comes
Yeah,
along and is like, I don't like this. That breaks your heart when that's the vulnerability part of making
yeah,
music. Because you've put so much effort into something, you think it sounds amazing, and then someone says, it doesn't sound so good.
yeah. Agree. And that's also what being professional means. You have to be self-critic, but you also have to sell it to your client if it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. You have to believe in yourself, and
Yeah.
in doing so, have other people believe in your music as well.
hmm As someone who chose a stable career over painting or music, but I keep returning to my passion, regretting for not doing otherwise. Oh, should we?
Oh, Jada. As someone who, sorry,
Yeah.
slow reader. As someone who chose sailor career in painting.
But listening from you that this is not a bad decision to explore, and we can always do anything we want. It really assures me that I'm not doing anything wrong that I might regret. P.S. I've been following your music for a long time now, and let me tell you that it's nothing less than a therapy. Each time I listen to it, you really, you have really helped me sustain in episodes of self-doubt and uncertainty. Thank you.
Oh, that's such
Makes
a
me so
beautiful
glad to
comment.
read.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you.
On behalf
And
of Ka, thank you very
as
much.
mentioned before, every compliment I get on stream now applies to people as well.
You've been listening to me for a long time. 5 years,
Yes,
10 years?
yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Since I was a baby? Yes. I think people are afraid of regret, but they're afraid of feeling regret. How can you
yeah,
regret something that hasn't happened yet, but they're afraid that they will regret it? Sometimes just allowing yourself to live is the best thing. If you're at a place in your life where you're not able to make music, or you're not able to spend as much time with your passion projects as you want, it's okay to let that part of your life just happen and then come back to it later. That's the beauty of passion. It's always there. and you can return to it like a comforting thing, like a comfort blanket. You can return to it later. For example, like I did medicine, and that's my degree was 6 years long. And during that time, I dipped in and out of music. I didn't. I played a lot of instruments in high school. I played the violin, piano, cello, bit of flute, ukulele, and kalimba. So I play a lot of instruments. But you can imagine once I started medical school and became a doctor, it's very hard to pursue things that you did as a kid or pursue things that you did in high school. You do have
Mm.
to give things up to pursue other things, but that doesn't mean that you have to regret it. You're just pursuing something else. And when you're done pursuing that, you can just come back full circle.
Yeah. I will say though that it might get harder in the future to make drastic decisions.
Mm.
Um, so one thing that I want to tell you is that you should not be afraid of challenges, and you should not be afraid to be brave. Because the one thing that made me decide now I really do want to make this my full-time job is because I was the same as you. I was a little bit scared to regret later when I maybe have a family, maybe have too many debts and too many mortgages to pay off, like usual adult stuff, right? That I might not be able to quit my job and just pursue music full time. Um,
Yeah.
so never be afraid to be brave and to make things a little bit dangerous.
A little bit
But also
spicy.
also be aware that things get more dangerous later on in your life.
Yeah, things get a bit spicy later on. But you
Yeah.
just need to surround yourself with people that can support you. Sometimes it's hard to support yourself. It's that way for all of us. Humans are not solitary creatures. So if you find people around you that can also boost you when you need it, that's a really precious thing. And you realize how human everyone is. I'm sure a lot of you look up to Ka because he's this amazing musician and he's experienced and his music's gorgeous, but he's just a human.
I'm
He's
just a human.
he's just a stinky human.
At least
So
that's what I'm telling everyone when they
yeah.
ask.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
Why
they
you
uh,
robot?
still believe me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the more people you meet, the more musicians you meet, as you get older, as you get more experienced, when you're starting out in the business, it feels like you have to climb these massive mountains and I'll never be at the same level as this person. I'll never speak to this person. But everyone is human and everyone's going through their own struggles and vulnerability. I remember I was talking to you, we both know this really famous lo-fi artist
Mm.
who he's got like 1 million listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Okay, we're on the same
I know
page.
what you're talking about.
But anyway, so he's got like 1 million listeners on Spotify. He recently like followed me on Instagram and we've been talking, and he's going through the exact same struggles that we are, and me at my like really small community and listening amount. Like I'm not a big musician at the moment, but the struggles that I'm experiencing now are the exact same struggles that he's experiencing. So no matter
Mm.
how big you get, it's very comforting and nice to know that everyone, not that we're all suffering, but that we're all human as well and going through things, and it gives you something to bond over. That everyone has their doubts. Does this sound nice? I don't know if what I'm doing. I don't know if this music sounds good. Do you think people will like it? We all have those questions. We all have those questions. No one's
Mm.
confident 100% of
Yeah.
the time. I don't think I'm ever confident. I just do it.
Okay. Is this a good transition to talk about the more spicier things?
Ooh, what should we talk about now?
Things that uh maybe let's start with the thing that you mentioned before, like the struggles that almost every digital artist have at the moment
Mm-hmm.
or in any moment is looking
Money?
at numbers.
Mm.
Yeah, we
Which,
can talk about money afterwards, but I think we should also talk about the whole mental challenge of looking at numbers and looking at KPIs and streaming numbers and listener numbers, and we always keep comparing ourselves to other musicians. They have more listeners, they have more streams. My streams are dropping suddenly. Um, my income is dropping suddenly. So this whole thing. How are you feeling about it? Do you check your numbers every day?
I don't. I wonder if I should be. Maybe if I checked my numbers more often, I'd have a bigger following. But I guess you don't know, right? Like, is being obsessed with your numbers going to produce results?
Mm,
It's difficult to control things in the music world because you're at the mercy of algorithms, and
yeah,
they work in mysterious ways. Sometimes it seems like it's random, or it's the algorithm works in a way that you will never understand because clearly the companies are directing them in a certain way. Especially when it comes to like I don't know, Spotify and Instagram. I don't know what their algorithms are doing. I don't know how anything
but it's
works.
weird.
I don't
It's
know
weird.
what are you saying about Spotify that you think that their algorithms might be stacked like in the favor of certain artists and stuff?
Yeah. Well, let me tell it this way. So Spotify is so tricky because a lot of my music is in official Spotify playlist, like the really big ones. But it's also a lot of mental pressure to expect that these numbers, that your music might get removed from these playlists eventually. And if that day comes, my numbers will drop drastically. And this is the invisible fear I at least I always have when I go to my Spotify page, and every day I'm like, any minute now my music will get removed from these playlists and then my numbers will drop. What will happen then? um so being an artist is at the same time being at the mercy of all the platforms we're on, and we're also at the mercy of all the people who are listening to our music, or who are watching art. And in the end, that's exactly you. Um, so I think the point that I want to get across is that we artists have our mental challenges and a lot of pressure on our shoulders to handle. And it's always nice to have people come back to our content, to listen to our stuff, to watch art, to follow us, to send us nice messages. People often underestimate how much this helps
It
building up
yeah,
confidence.
it
Yeah,
really like if you like a video, fine, you're a figure. But if you leave a comment, you suddenly become a person that actually appreciates someone's content. Leaving a like is really nice as well. Being someone, I guess it's like in like tiers. Like if you're just someone that views the video, at least you viewed it. But if you're someone that likes and comments, that turns you into something tangible. It turns you into
yeah,
a real person on the opposite end of the screen that we can rely on the next time we're feeling doubts. It helps so much.
it helps a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, really. To this day, I'm trying to answer all the comments and messages I get, because that's the thing that makes me the most confident, that makes me the most happy. If I just stare at my numbers, then there's always this fear that these will drop. This is the worth that I have, and it will drop. And if it drops, then my worth as a musician will drop too, and it will mean that I'm not as good as a musician anymore. So I know this fear is very how do I say it? It doesn't make any sense.
Irrational.
It's very irrational, yeah.
But
But it's
that's why it's
there.
so good to surround yourself with people that, even if they don't understand your music, as long as they support you in some way, as long as the people around you understand, like they're not negatively affecting your ability to make music, it's so important to have people that support you in some capacity, even if they don't understand, even if they're not musicians themselves, because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people aren't actual composers. Being someone, the entire world listens to music, but it doesn't mean that they all make it.
Yeah.
But even just surrounding yourself with people who are supportive, it makes such a difference to how far you go in this journey.
Yes.
I think it can be
So yeah.
quite lonely. It can be quite lonely, especially when you're starting out. And for example, like, I don't know anyone that's a doctor and a musician. All of my medical friends just do medicine. Nobody's doing this crazy thing that I'm doing. But you find people around you that actually understand, or people that make music. It's made such a difference. Having friends like Car has really influenced my life.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line is that if even if you're just a consumer, even if you're just here for the music, just let the artist know that you're there. Just give them some kind messages, like you do with me, because that is something that they will need a lot. Because we were talking about this very big lo-fi artist, even he has the same worries as us, and I don't think that will go away. And even if my numbers raise and raise and raise, there will always be this fear that that's just my self-worth that is going to drop any minute now. So having all these kind words, kind messages reach me, that's what in the end counts the most. So yeah.
I think that's quite reflective in our music as well. Like, we make quite tender music, so it goes to reason that we are quite squishy people as well.
Yeah.
And you can tell that the kind of music it's reflective of who you are as well.
Yeah. Let's not
And
forget that every artist is a human first.
yes, we are all human.
We're all human. All right. Next spicy thing. Wanna talk money
Oh, hell yeah,
and
lads.
clients.
Let's talk moolah.
Let's talk moolah and clients.
Okay, so we did say that we're gonna be poor. You're poor. Everyone starts out poor. That's just how it
Yeah,
is.
that's just how it is.
Definitely have a backup option to feed yourself in the meantime. You might you see, everyone starts off doing music part-time. I really don't know anyone that was able to do it full-time just from the start,
Yeah, it
because
is really hard.
you can't feed yourself, or
Yeah,
you just have to rely entirely on like parents.
yes, it is really really hard because streaming platforms don't really pay much. The threshold that you need to make an actual living from just Spotify streams is really really high.
Do you think it's about
Even
100,000 listeners per month?
at least, like I think Sirthion, the producer I've been mentioning before, who has to move back to her parents now, she has like let me check. Let me check. I think she has at least 100k
So
on
that's the bare minimum.
Spotify. That's not even enough for her to have an own apartment anymore. She has 100k monthly listeners, millions of streams, 100,000, 600,000 here on her one song, 500,000 on another song. It's not enough. It's not
Because
enough.
was it Spotify pays you like 0.01
Zero zero, yeah, something like
0.01 cents per stream. So every time, and if someone doesn't listen to your full song, that doesn't even count. I think they have to listen to like more than 50% of that song for it to
yeah.
count as a stream. So 0.01 cent, 100th of a cent is what you
100 of a cent, and a
100 of a
cent is
cent
100 of one buck.
is what you
Imagine,
receive for
imagine
every
people.
stream. So,
We
go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Most musicians on Spotify will not get rich on Spotify, even if they have millions of streams on their music.
Was it YouTube
Imagine.
like 0.03? 0.
I'm not sure about YouTube Music, but it's always reflecting the numbers of people actually listen on those platforms, right? Spotify can make the royalty fee so low because everyone listens on Spotify. They have the biggest market share.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Apple Music pays a lot more, but they are fully aware that not as much people listen to music on Apple Music. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I
yeah, it's
think it is
incredibly hard.
difficult. I think they did us dirty. It's a hundredth of a cent. Are you serious? But that's business. I think that's just the
That
way it works. It's
that's
mean.
business, and I think the way Spotify works too is that they do have the biggest artist. They get the biggest share from the whole royalty pot. So even if people listening to your music alone, a part of that money just goes over to the bigger artist because they have the bigger share of the pot, and you keep the smaller part of it. Despite
Yeah,
people just listening to your music and never touching Justin Bieber or Ed Sheeran's music ever in their lives, Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber still get paid from this money. So yeah,
yeah,
that's the world we're living in. That's the harsh world of streaming.
yeah.
Um,
Fortune in the music world, fortune favors those who are already popular. So if
yeah.
you, which means that people on the ground have to work really hard
Yes.
because the people who are popular just continue to be popular because brands and Spotify and labels continue to support them because they're popular. So, but the process of becoming popular is just non-existent. You have
Yeah.
to already be there. So that's why you have to be really strong. You have to have good mental fortitude to do this.
Yeah. Let me drop some numbers too. I think in order for you to make an actual living with music, you need multiple million streams per month.
Damn.
Multiple millions.
Everyone
Just
starts
let.
somewhere. But your goal, if you want to make it as a full-time career, your goal would need you would need to have at least 150. I'm gonna say 200,000 because 100 with inflation and the way the world everything is getting more expensive. I would say 150 to 200,000 Spotify listeners per month is what you need to make this your living full time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even that can be difficult to calculate because Spotify pays in streams and not in listeners. So
Yeah.
even if you have a lot of listeners, if they just listen to your music once per month, then you just have 200,000 streams per month. That's
Hmm.
not nearly enough to make a living from it. Not
Yeah.
nearly. That's like less than minimum wage. So yeah, that's the world we're living in.
Yeah, the thing we said about being content creators, the another reason you have to be a content creator is because you're not making you can't solely make money from royalties. You have to dip your
Yeah,
fingers into other things like
yeah,
advertising and commissions. Commissions is a big one. Taking on commissions to help boost your pay slip per month.
yes, yes,
Royalties is good as a background amount of money that you're making every month. So it's nice to have it, but it takes a lot of effort for it, a lot of time and effort. And even then, you might not even make it because the algorithm just doesn't care, even if you're putting in time and effort. But it takes a lot of luck and time and effort for you to just live on royalties that you're receiving from streams. You have to do other work. You have to.
yes. That's why we both work on commissions every month to stay afloat.
It's really fun though. I found my commission work to be really rewarding because it allows you to improve your skills and try new things and work on
Yeah,
other people's projects. It's nice to work on projects that other people also believe in.
yes,
For
exactly.
example, like film and game.
But the issue is that usually with commissions, they just pay a fixed price, um, just some amount of money that you both agree on, and
Hmm.
that's it. That's it. That's your only income for the whole project. It's very rare that you get involved in some revenue share models.
The
So
idea,
having
yeah,
royalties is like you I'm assuming that I will not make music for the rest of my life simply because it is incredibly hard to stay competitive and to stay creative all the time. I mean, I'm still young. I probably have to do this at least 50 more years. Um, 40 to 50 maybe. So yeah, will I be able to do it, or should I, or do I need some passive income? And royalties are perfect passive income, but people really need to understand that it's not much. So if you, the next time you see an artist on Spotify who has like 200,000 listeners and millions of streams on a few songs, if they don't have as many songs as I do, they probably won't be able to make a living from that. They probably have another 9 to 5 somewhere, another job lined up somewhere. They are probably struggling a lot. Syntheon, one of the biggest names in the EDM industry, like for rhythm games and stuff, working for Riot Games, is struggling to keep their apartments.
It's heartbreaking. It really
It's
is.
really heartbreaking. Those talented people do not have a place to live anymore because of algorithmic changes to their Spotify account. People are not coming back. People don't get recommended to their music anymore. All those things stack up and create create a lot of instability and chaos in their lives. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So always have a backup plan. That's it. Don't like, on American Idol when the contestants come in and they're like, I quit my day job to audition and they sing really badly. Don't do that. Don't do that, guys.
don't do that.
Don't quit your day job. Don't quit
Yeah,
just yet.
and if you're a listener, please be aware of the power you hold.
Yeah.
Just by listening to music can enable some futures, because it's that hard. Every stream counts.
Every stream counts. But we wouldn't be here if we didn't enjoy it. There's a lot of struggle and there's a lot of strife, but
Yeah.
that's everything in life. There are good moments and bad moments. And as long as the good moments outweigh the bad moments, then it's worth it. You will always have bad moments, always. But
Always.
as long as the good and the the highs are better than the lows when it comes to making music or with anything in life, it's worth it.
Yes.
It's not going to be smooth sailing, but as long as you're surrounded by good people and you're always trying to educate yourself on better ways to do things and you take time to rest, it's difficult for things to go wrong if you take a certain calm and methodical and educational approach.
Yeah. And never forget to look back to. Like
Yeah.
one thing that always helps me if I have my doubts, if my numbers drop again, then I will always look back. Where was I 1 year ago? And I'm always at a better place. But my benchmarks change all the time. Suddenly, I have 400k listeners, and dropping down to 300k is a nightmare. But 2 years ago, I was at 80,000 monthly listeners. I was not nearly enough, nearly near the 100k mark. So
Yeah.
benchmarks always change, but the feeling will always stay the same. But so it really helps
Yeah.
to look back and get some new perspective.
The euphoria of having 5 listeners is the same as the euphoria of having a 50,000.
Yes,
It's all about perspective. The fact that when I started out, like 10, I had like 10 monthly listeners. The fact that those 10 people actually took the time to listen to a full song of mine meant everything to me, just as much as it does now.
that's completely true. Yeah.
I don't think I've changed. I don't think I've ever thought like, oh my god, there's 50 people, 50,000 people. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, 50 people and 50,000 people, I feel the same amount of gratitude.
Yes. Same.
I just wish I had more money.
Yeah, wanna talk about that more. Well, let's talk about selling stuff and setting prices to clients,
Oh my god.
because this
I
is such a
struggle.
I think
Carl was shouting at me like a couple months ago because I was really underselling myself, and he was like, because
you
he's
were
worked
selling
in
you were selling a song for 150.
AO.
Okay, guys. Selling prices. If you want to sell your creative work, okay? The first question that you have to ask yourself is, what is the minimum wage of your country? And and then you take that number and multiply it by the numbers of hours that that you work on your stuff. That's the minimum price you can charge
He sounds like he's in
from your
pain because he's
clients.
thinking about how much I sold myself for. How
This
much
is
I.
such you know this is a mini rant, okay? This 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 topic makes me really emotional because you know what? People set prices for other artists too. If you're an artist selling one thing that someone else is also selling, the price that you set for your client is going to be the benchmark everyone else has to play with. If everyone sells a complete painting for $50, then making it $500 is suddenly very, very stupid in the eyes of the client. But it's actually the value that your art deserves. So first thing you do is look at the minimum wage of your country, multiply it by the hours of work you need to do,
So it
and
should
then
be
double it at
like
least. Yeah.
US. I think the US is like, is it $12 an hour?
Okay.
Maybe
Let's take out our calculator.
$14 an hour. Is there any Americans watching? You can tell us.
Well, what's the German one? Is it 13?
Euro per hour.
13? 12?
For us, it's like
Sherry,
11.
what's the minimum wage?
Yo,
12.
Sherry, she's a 12.
Okay, how many hours did you work on your stuff? On one song.
It takes me 25 to 40 hours per song.
Okay,
So let's say
let's
30.
let's say 30. Then the minimum price you should charge is 360 euros. And you
And
went half of that.
how much was I earning per hour, Car? Would you like to tell the class?
You
It's like
sold
three
yourself
pounds,
for
isn't it?
100.
It was like $4 an hour.
Uh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait. 30, 150. Uh, 30. Yeah. You were selling yourself for 5 hours per hour. 5 euros per hour.
Fantastic.
What a
Fan-
nice price,
and
Popo.
there was
Thank you very
no
much.
if I had set my standard early on, there would have been no need for me to be that low because I just didn't know. I just generally, I've been in the game for such a small amount of time and I was naive and I wanted people to use my music and I sympathized with the artists because they weren't able to pay me at the rate that I deserved. So it's very easy to slide backwards and allow yourself to be paid less for your worth, especially in the beginning. But once you're established, once you have clients, there isn't really a need to be earning $3 an hour. There really isn't.
Yeah.
You really can raise your rates. And if people turn you down, then just work on your own music. I should have just done that. And
Yeah.
now I'm oversaturated with clients that want me at a low price. And I've already said yes, and I'm stuck. So
Yeah.
don't do what Popo does, guys.
And even if you leave the projects, the next composer that comes around,
Remembers what your shitty rate
yeah,
was. Yeah.
that they will remember and they will come to the new composer and say, "Ah, Popo charged like five euros per hour. Why can't you do it? Hello, we don't have more money.
Oh,
We
the
don't."
pain.
I do understand though. Not all the clients do have the kind of money. So it's sometimes very not completely their fault because they, especially webtoon artists, are getting paid almost nothing.
Yeah.
From what I heard. So what kind of money do they have to pay you with?
Yeah. A lot of people also feel the need to make music for free. They and a lot of people, a lot of bigger names allow that to happen. For example, I was
Mm.
talking to and one of my epic composer friends, and they make music for. I wouldn't call it a label, but they make music for jingles, ads, and
Mm.
little trailers and stuff like that. And someone on Twitter, one of the directors of that label, that company, was like, I just don't understand why they want to be paid. We are paying them an experience. Like, that's not the right approach at
Oh
all. You
no.
can imagine how everyone was triggered, because you can't paying someone an experience doesn't feed them or
Yeah.
make them feel valued. Money
Yeah.
makes people feel valued. That's just how it is, because you're able to buy things with your money. So
Yes.
people want money, and applauding yourself, or like actually going on Twitter and saying, why should we pay you? You deserve to be paid nothing. You deserve to be paid an experience, is not the way to go about it. Yes, to a certain extent, if you are learning, if you're starting out, you do an unpaid internship. You make a few jingles for the experience. But there comes a point where even if you're not doing music full time, you deserve to be paid your worth.
Exactly. And if you ever wonder if you can make music full time, just ask yourself how much money do you need, and then calculate if how much money you should charge your clients. And if they are ready to pay you this amount of money for the hours that you work, then you're ready to make this a full time job. Because do not start a full time job by underselling yourself so much and thinking, I do make money from it now. It means I'm good. No, you're not, because there will be times where you suddenly have no clients, and now you need to live from your savings. So all of this you need to calculate for, which is why I say calculate your hours needed for any work you do, multiply it by
And make
your
sure it's
minimum
above the
wage,
minimum wage.
and make sure it's above that. It's way above that, because they have to pay for the times you don't have clients too.
Yeah.
That's the client's duty. It is.
Don't be afraid to bargain as well. I've had people who I don't know. I feel like humanity, we're really good at like bargaining, especially if you come from a country where haggling for things at the market is not normal. So just don't be afraid to professionally and gently haggle for prices.
Yes.
Um, for example, someone will be like, "Oh, I can't. Can't you just do it for 100? I'm a student. I really like. I don't have the money, or I really can't pay this amount." Be like, okay, so I'm gonna charge you 200 or 300, but you can pay me in installments, or you can pay me a bit later, and as long as you pay me, and as long as it's a decent amount.
Yeah.
And if they still, after you've haggled a little bit, if they still don't reach your standard, it's time to walk away.
Mm.
And they might, just like when you're haggling at the market for like a piece of jewelry or something, they might be like, okay, fine, and they'll just give you what you want, or they might actually walk away, and you have to be happy with either scenario.
Yeah. One thing that really stuck with me is the sentence, art is luxury. So always remind yourself that if someone can't afford your prices, they shouldn't they should not buy it.
That's a
Right?
very good way of thinking about it.
Your art is luxury. It's not affordable for everyone. Um, and if it isn't, they should not buy it. A luxury
Yeah.
clock, a watch, you should not buy one if you
If you
don't
cannot
have the
afford
money.
Gucci,
Yeah.
don't buy
If
Gucci.
if you can't afford Gucci, don't buy Gucci. Yeah. If you can't afford music, don't buy music.
It's
There are a
because
lot
it's
of
intangible. It's because they don't understand how it works. They don't know how much effort goes into it,
yeah,
and how much thought process and everything, how much work and effort goes into it. They don't understand it. So they don't respect it or treat it as this precious thing as it should. They
ex-
don't think it's a luxury. They think
exactly.
it's a necessity. And because they're surrounded by TikTok and fast music and music all the time, it's really difficult to understand why should I have to pay for this luxury?
Oh God, I really do need to go on another rant here. Okay, so Popo, do you ever get approached by people who want to run channels like the Soul of Wind? You know, these channels that put just artwork and a piece of music on YouTube, like a 4 to 10 hour playlist,
Yeah, yeah,
and they do expect the ad revenue from YouTube to set them up for some nice side income. I
yeah.
am
It's happened a
so
few times. I think
regularly triggered by those.
I turned all of them down.
I mean, this business is totally okay, right? The Soul of Wind clearly shows that channels like these can work, but a lot of people come to me and ask me, "Can I use your music on my channel um, for free?" And I'll make sure to credit you properly, but can I also monetize it? And this triggers me so much. It's like, what the fuck do you expect from this? It is not something that can make you any easy money. This is let's be let's be completely honest here, okay? It is not that difficult to take music and put it under some piece of art that they probably also don't own and put it on YouTube for like 10 hours. That is not hard work. That is literally what I do every other week on top of everything else that I do, and I'm completely fine with that. It's not a lot of work, so there's no way that you can just expect to make easy money from that with my music and someone else's art. It's not how the world works. And the worst part is when people come to me and ask for it, and I tell them, yeah, but you know, it will cost you some money first, right? You know that, right? You need to buy for licenses, and then
Yeah,
you can
commercial
monetize
license,
it.
right? It's
Yeah,
known as
then you can commercialize it. That's fully totally okay. And they're like, yeah,
what?
but can I can I use your music first and then pay you if my video pops off? And I'm like,
Lol.
what?
I think they have no
What?
concept. They really have no concept of how it works. I think people are getting better though, especially with the amount of plagiarism and stealing and
They are not. Yeah, let me just put it into perspective of stock market. I always tell them, yeah, music is an investment. If you want to make music, money from music, you have to spend money first. You have to buy the music first all the time. And they're like, yeah, let me just use your music for free and wait until it generates the revenue so I can pay you afterwards. It's like asking for Google
mm.
stocks, waiting until the stock moves up, and then pay for it. Like, let me pay you after I get rich, basically. How the fuck does this? How does this work? I'm sorry. This makes me so angry, and it so irritates me to think that this is in any way logical thinking. People just please, if you approach musicians or artists of any other kind, please do some thinking first. Do think that maybe this is not for free, and maybe I need to spend money first before I can make money back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
It's
correct order
difficult
of
when you're
things.
working with people who are unexperienced. For example, like a 14-year-old that has a YouTube channel who just really wants your music on the YouTube channel. They really don't have a concept of ownership. So it's a difficult one. You have to the whole another huge part of music is professionalism. Understanding that sometimes you have to educate people on how it works and
Yeah.
being very we are all very patient people. Everyone in the music industry is very patient because we have to deal with people who don't understand a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. At least we're
Do you feel
trying to be patient.
yeah? Do you feel a bit better after your
I
run?
feel a bit better. Um, it had to get out. It had to get out. It makes me so angry sometimes how disrespectful some of the emails are. that
Oh
I
my
get.
god, don't even do when
Don't
the
even.
spam emails
God.
from
Yeah,
all the
it's the sad thing is it's not even spam. They sometimes I get emails that have these crazy demands, not even put into the email body, but in the subject. So I'm reading the complete email as a subject, and the email body is
oh my
completely empty.
god. The wow.
People,
That's so funny.
I'm not an easy way for you to make money. Period.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's one of the things. Once you start getting bigger, even if you're not big, like when I first started making music, I was getting this kind of spam. If anyone senses that you might that you might bring them fortune in some way, they will latch onto you. So you
Yeah.
just have to, but it's also, you don't have to be mean or rude. You just have to be professional and know where to set boundaries.
Yeah, I'm never mean. I sent them my licensing fees and rates, and then I never hear from them again.
Yeah, which is that's always the story of my life.
I really do love those emails that have the same idea, but immediately ask how much will that cost? Will it cost something? Can I use it for personal use, like not monetize it first, and then if I'm comfortable, if I do have the views coming in, if I have the revenue coming in, can I buy a license then and monetize my video then? That's really respectful. That I really love. It channels like the Soul of Wind show that these kinds of channels can work and they can be a great way to make money for you. Yeah,
They
sure.
can. It's just
But
that I think the YouTube's quite oversaturated with those kinds of channels now. I think you
yeah,
got
yeah,
Soul of the Wind happened. Like that was the perfect time for you to have become like to have popped off because
yeah.
everything's so saturated now.
Yeah, a lot of people also have this weird assumption that the Soul of Wind kind of steals my music, which is saying a lot of things about the kind of internet we're living in. That everyone assumes that if it's not from the original artist, then it has to be a stolen thing. It is not. It is
Mm.
not. The Soul of Wind pays me. They are clients.
They are clients.
There are
As
clients.
long as it's an
They
agreement between the
yeah
artist and the client,
yeah
it's
they
that's the best scenario.
and they always pay me first, and then they're gonna put up the videos and make their money back.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
Okay,
respectful.
we've almost been streaming for about 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
We haven't covered AI or contracts or
Yeah.
so we haven't covered like actual music making and software or what our processes are. So what have
There's
we
so
talked
much.
about?
Yeah. All right.
I
Any questions that we should answer today, and
Any
the rest we
burning
should.
questions from the room? I hope you guys have had a good time listening to us. I hope it's been comforting to know that
Yeah.
we're going through the same struggles. No matter how popular you get, how big, we're all still human. And we all
Yeah.
think about a lot. There's so much thought that goes into everything.
Oh
And
yeah, and if
I
you
hope it was
guys,
helpful.
yeah, if you guys like this talk, these kinds of talks, we will do some in the future again, covering
Mhm.
some more topics that we weren't able to talk about today. So just let us know in chat or in the comments if we should do this more often, and if we
Let
should,
us
then
know.
yeah,
And also, if you have any ideas for anything you'd want us to do, also let us know.
yeah, let
Or
us know.
anything we could improve on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we might
Change our sea
even
background to a field of grass.
or goats.
Oh yeah, oh my god. When we were looking for backgrounds and what to put in the background that's peaceful, I found this video of sheep that are just like rubbing themselves against trees because they're itchy. And it's just like this field of sheep rubbing themselves against trees because they're feeling itchy. And I really liked it. I thought it was really calming, and I'm not sure why we didn't use it as a background. I swear.
we will use it in the next time. So if you
Shall
want
we?
it to be a next time, then next time we will put on sheeps
We'll put the
in the
sheep.
background.
Oh my god, I can't wait to put the itchy sheep in
Yes,
the
part
background.
two, please. Yeah, we still have to talk about AI. I think we can make a whole episode about
Oh my
that
god, just
alone.
ranting on AI.
And yeah, software we use, process. I think we should leave that for maybe a collab stream where we actually make music
Yeah, I wonder
and
if
go
we can
through.
combine Q&As with like actually make music together at the same time. It would be a
Yeah,
nice
that.
interlude. Do a little
Yeah.
rant and then make some music, and then do a little rant.
Yes. Yes. And the future of music could be also another topic in itself.
Oh, lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about.
Does anybody have any more boning questions before we wrap up?
I think
You
there
can.
was one very interesting question from
Right.
Ambient Classical. Do you think there's a way to fix these problems of the music industry, or will Spotify, Apple, YouTube always have complete control?
I think something new might come along, which will. I think the cycle repeats itself. So there's always some form of Big Brother industry that controls things, but it just changes hands. I think because like 2015 was like the golden era for YouTube, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it? And then Spotify wasn't that popular at the time. In America, there was that other Pandora was popular.
Mm.
And I remember being like, oh my gosh, should I listen to Pandora? Oh, it's only available in the States. Okay, I guess I'll use Spotify because I'm in the UK. But now Spotify
SoundCloud too. Yeah.
blown up. Things
Yeah.
are always changing in the industry. 5 years from now, will TikTok even exist? Will something
Yeah.
else have replaced it? Will Elon finally like? What will happen to Twitter? No one
The
knows.
mystery Elon. Yeah. Elon will buy Spotify and make it completely about AI music. It
I
will
think
come.
fighting the algorithm
Yeah.
is a lost cause. I think you can try to work with it, but I don't think
So
there's a way to fight it.
I think some people actually try to fight the Spotify low royalty payouts. They will actually do, and I think there's a possibility for that to happen. That we all get
Really?
together and demonstrate, and it has to be something that every musician, especially the smaller musicians, have to agree on, and they actually do have to demonstrate and um,
Yeah,
make
if there was a
themselves
movement, if
loud.
there was a movement
Yeah,
to do this, I would be a part of it. I think a
yeah,
lot of people would. It's just that people at the top have to get the ball rolling because for example, I think your voice is quite loud, but mine is really soft. So for me to suddenly approach Spotify, they'd be like, "What?" It's like an ant looking at a giant.
yeah. We all have to get together and make changes happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But to answer your question too, I think there was never a point in time where a big corporation wasn't in control. Like even before the internet, it was all about the labels, and the power just shifts to different places. And we musicians had to adapt and just face all these challenges that are waiting for us in the future.
Hmm. But I think you, by being a musician, you're just so mentally strong that adaptability is so common that we just roll with the punches, and that's something
Yeah,
to really be proud of.
yeah,
How we're able to change so quickly with the tides.
yeah.
It's
So
exhausting, but I'm proud of us.
so the one thing that I really hope that could change isn't anything between the relationship between the artist and the big platforms, but I really hope that the relationships between artists and actual consumers, listeners, and followers can improve in the future. Like just being aware that art is a luxury, music is luxury, that people are really struggling hard to make this all happen, to make it possible for you to listen to all this beautiful music out there, that people are actually fighting a lot, and that you as consumers are aware of that and maybe think about rewarding that too in any form that is possible. Either streaming the music passively or leaving some nice comments and DMs for the artist to read through. Or if you commission art from an artist, that you really think about if this payment that you're making is actually fair towards the artist. I hope those things improve. And if they do, then a lot of things for the artist will improve too. Because most of the artists and musicians will not be the greatest stars on this planet. Most of us will spend the rest of our lives making music for a small pot of people, and that's completely, we will be completely fine with that. So this is the small space that we can be in control, and we should make the best out of that.
We hope that even if you're not a musician, if you just listen, we hope that our strength inspires you to also be strong in whatever you pursue. If by listening to how hard we fight for what we believe in, we hope that it also allows you to fight for things that you want in your life. You can make it happen. You just have to work a little hard.
Yes. And I think that were perfect last words for the stream. It's a wrap.
Sherry says she's going to be strong now. You're already strong,
Yes.
girl.
Be aware of your strength.
Be aware of your strength and how much you can make it even stronger.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to this stream. We had such a good time. Next time we'll be more cozy, bring some drinks. The next time we do a stream, hopefully the weather's cooled down a bit.
Oh god. How's the weather in the
it's like
good
23.
old Britain?
It's like 22, 23, yeah. I want it to be like 18 because I want to feel cozy now. It's almost autumn.
It's all, yeah, I think summer is coming back here in Hamburg.
Lol.
Yeah. Wait, it's 32 degrees Celsius somewhere in Germany. Constant. Oh my goodness. Hamburg is pretty much in the north, so our weather is usually more chill. Okay, 21. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. All right.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It was a lot of fun.
That was so nice. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you learned something because we're talking quite frankly about things. If you have any frank questions about how things work, don't be afraid to ask. We will do our best to answer them.
Yes, we will. All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining the stream, guys. Thank you so much. If you want more, please leave a like and comment to just let us know. All right. My next stream will probably be on Friday. I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do. But yeah, see you guys in the next stream.
Later. See you in the next stream.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.